She thinks I'm a little lazy, I think she's a little crazy. We like summer and we like spring, watching wrestling in the ring. She ain't shy, she speaks her mind, tough as nails and smooth as wine. We burn hot as kerosene, baby, we got our own thing. She ain't skinny and I ain't tall, and that don't bother us at all. I run Nikki through the yard, she flash every police car, drinking wine and getting tired, and shooting out the damn street lights. How does she put up with me? Oh, baby, we got our own thing. We got our own thing. We don't need no rain. We ain't rich, but son of a, we're a hillbilly king and queen. Life don't seem so hard with you beneath the stars, 'cause we're growing four-leaf clovers in the yard.
There ain't nothing that he can't fix. He's a hard-headed son of a. We got married on the Georgian line. Watch out, ladies, this one is mine. He works hard and just don't quit, even if his pants don't fit. Lord, he'll be the death of me. Baby, we've got our own thing. We eat good like you ought to do. Mashed potatoes and gravy too. Picnic table out in the back. He's only had one heart attack. Pecan pie beneath the moon. Paper plates and plastic spoons. We're as close as two sardines. Baby, we got our own thing.
We got our own thing. We don't need no rain. We ain't rich, but son of a, we're a hillbilly king and queen. Life don't seem so hard with you beneath the stars, 'cause we're growing four-leaf clovers in the yard. Holding hands and touching minds,
Smoking grass and feeling fine.
we're as crazy as a cuckoo clock.
We're the weird ones on the block.
Stuffs her cash down in her bra.
I even like my mother-in-law.
She's my backwoods beauty queen.
Baby, we
Got our own thing. We got our own thing. We don't need no rain. We ain't rich, but son of a, we're a hillbilly king and queen. Life don't seem so hard with you beneath the stars, 'cause we're growing four-leaf clovers in the yard. Yeah, we're growing four-leaf clovers in the yard. I live down the road from Buddy's barroom. I got a running tab, it's done run away. Sometimes I think I'm whistling past the graveyard. Last night I got so drunk I didn't even know my name, but the beer is cold and the music's always playing, and the jukebox is the best there is in town. Set you free at a happy hour, country songs and whiskey sours can cheer up any man who's feeling down. We say Jesus ain't an easy man to talk to. Heaven never sounded all that night. Got you feel a little better singing, drinking songs together. A little 16 bars of paradise. Well, a bunch of boys come in right after midnight. They finished up late shift, so I hear. Nikki looks so tired it might fall over, but he heads straight for the jukebox and he orders him a beer. Well, his home's a wreck, been bouncing checks, he got bills that's piling high. They asked the good Lord for some help, but he got no reply. And he said, Jesus ain't an easy man to talk to. And heaven never sounded all that nice. But I feel a little better singing, drinking songs together. A little 16 bars of paradise. Now you make some big mistakes over a lifetime, and heaven knows there ain't no perfect man. Sometimes it's just too late for forgiveness, but everybody here knows that you're doing the best you can. Well, life is tough, you done had enough, you ain't got no cash to spend. Come on down to Buddy's Bar, it's on the house, my friend. We say Jesus ain't an easy man to talk to. Heaven never sounded all that night, but to feel a little better singing, drinking songs together. A little 16 bars of paradise. Thinking places where you spend your time. Ain't no place I'd rather go. You're a funny little critter and I love you so. And I wanna take a ride in the wheelbarrow in your mind. I come and sit down with me in a rocking chair. The coffee pot is nice and hot. We can sit in our underwear. Tell me about the dreams you had last week, swimming all around with the fish in the sea. Come sit down with me in a rocking chair. A couple of days or even just an afternoon. They be looking up and we'll be looking down. We can wave to the people in my hometown now. Come on, baby, let's fly up to the moon. And I wanna take a ride in the wheelbarrow in your mind. Take me all around to the thinking places where you spend your time. Ain't no place I'd rather go. You're a funny little critter and I love you so. And I wanna take a ride in the wheelbarrow.
about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being with me. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. Brand new biblical question this week. And again, to encourage you to get to know yourself. You, as an adult, got to know yourself if you want to be free. If you want to be free, you got to know yourself. Nobody can do it. Amazing, huh? Brand new biblical question. Who is God? I think it's backward again, right?
What is?
The biblical question.
Who is God? Oh, you think it's worded
I think
wrong?
it read word wrong. I may be wrong. Is this right, Sean?
Yeah, that's Sean. Is he answering you?
Huh?
Is he answering you?
Yeah. He said he's checking the screen. I think it's read wrong again. I may be wrong. Okay, it's written right. It just felt like it's not written right. You know what I mean? Who is God? Who is God? Do you know God? Who is God? Do you know God? And again, the biblical question is put there to encourage those who want to overcome their hell to be free, to get to know themselves, to pay attention. But if you don't want to, stay in your hell. Amazing, huh? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show, JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And good news, the listen line is working again. It is working now.
Amazing.
Amazing. And for those who are not able to sit and watch the show live, you podcast later, some of you do. You could be listening no matter where you are and what you're doing. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are, or what you're doing. You could be some blacks beating up white people at a cafe, at a gas station, at the beach. You could be getting beat up by the blacks in Melbourne, Australia, or you could be buying some fentanyl. It doesn't matter. Trying to get across the borders. You could be a politician, a Republican politician, female politician down at the border, pretending like you're trying to patch the fence up, or whatever, right? And so many things you can be doing while listening to JesseLeePeterson.com live. By calling the listen line on your iPhone or iPad at 641-793-1500. 641 793-1500. Follow us on social media. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, blah, blah, blah. Follow us. We are on Instagram. Y'all know all this already, right? Instagram. Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. JLP Talk on X. Hey, Bill. The engineer just walked in. Cozy.tv/JLP, where Christ is King. And rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. You got to know how to rumble. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, buymeacoffee.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, or rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. You can even go to Cash App, Bond JLP on Cash App. All kinds of ways to get your comments read out loud and to donate. Thank you in advance. And so I'm waiting for my intro here, so they're working on it, and so I'm tarrying a little bit. I do want to remind you that this Thursday is the first Thursday of the month. It's the first Thursday of the month, and every first Thursday is men's forum for men only. Every first Thursday, right, at 7 p.m. in Los Angeles. And then the third Thursday for ladies only. For ladies only, the third Thursday night of the month. And I do have to tell you, you already know the men forums are on fire, where the ladies forums are neck to neck. The ladies are opening up, they're being honest about themselves, not about other people. They're looking at themselves. It's really, really amazing. So, ladies, you got to wake up, too, if you want to be free. If you want to be free. It's Tuesday. And every Tuesday at the JLP show is Country and Western Tuesday. Bring back, oh, bring back my country to me. Bring back, bring back my country to me. What dog? Who let the dogs out? Amazing. 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 Country and Western Tuesday. So before I go to the calls that I am going to get to as many as possible. I want to remind you that today is what they call Super Tuesday. Super Tuesday. And a lot of the millennials might not know what Super Tuesday is, so I do want to explain it a little bit. Super Tuesday. And you might ask, what is Super Tuesday, Jesse? According to CBS, Super Tuesday on March 5th, 2024 is when the largest numbers of states will be holding presidential primaries or caucuses. It's called Super Tuesday because more delegates are at stake on March 5th than any other single day during the primary campaign. Watch this compilation.
Hold on.
Okay, they're going to be coming with that in a minute. Amazing.
You gotta hold on clips. None of them are showing up.
So let me go. They're working on. We're putting all the new equipment together now that you help us to get. Thank you. And so it's taking time, but it's happening. Let me go to, and I'll come back to that. Let me go to Daniel out of Georgia. Daniel, welcome to the Georgia. Oh my. Welcome to the show, Daniel.
What's going on?
All is well.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I had some comments, some thoughts. I mean, I had called before, but I didn't want to call too soon when I had my, had all my comments and stuff about things I've been going through. I wanted to see things for myself, so I didn't want to keep calling in every single time I find something and then try to see what your opinion is about it. I just wanted to see things for myself.
I understand that.
So I said, what I realized is that thoughts are always about the individual, whatever they go through. And say you want to go through something else next, that the thoughts are bound to doubt you about what you're going through. Like, you know how you said how Jesus healed that man and told him not to tell anybody and said that he might go start teaching everybody?
Yeah.
And then some people might tell him to doubt himself?
Yep.
Say you might have like
let me just remind the folks about that. Jesus was walking down the road. He saw this guy, and this guy wanted to heal or need a healer. Jesus healed him, and he said, "You're healed." Paraphrase, "You're now healed. Go and tell nobody." And the man went and told everybody. And Jesus like, "What the?" And the reason for that, because Jesus knew and understands that the human heart is evil. Human beings are wicked to the core. You have no idea. And that includes your family members, or no matter who, your parents. And so the guy went and started preaching in his ego. He went and started telling it right away. He wanted to be a teacher. And Jesus asked him not to do it. And that is in reference to today for all of us. When you hear the truth, Satan going to intellectually make you think you know the truth. And right away you want to go out and start preaching the truth at everybody when you really don't know what you're talking about. You're on an ego trip. Amazing.
Exactly. I see when I'm on Instagram, I see people. I know people like to talk and teach about it, but there's just people who like to do things on camera. It's like you don't have to do every single thing on camera. I know sometimes
right.
They don't really post it, but they don't have to do every single thing on camera.
Yep.
And they said that they talk about the person and what they've gone through. Say you're a fighter and you lost this fight, and the next fight you might have thoughts about it and doubt yourself, and you lose that fight too.
That's right. Amazing.
And that's what I think. I like to see. That's why I totally see things for myself, and it just makes complete sense nowadays. It's just perfect. It just makes complete sense. I don't know.
And that's what happens, Daniel, when you separate yourself from the crowd, and you're now no longer thinking like the crowd. You're thinking as an individual, and that's when common sense, which is from God, will kick in, because you are out of the 1,000 that was a part of the group thinking and group. You decide, you know what, I want to be my own person. I want to be my own individual. I want to think for myself. And the truth will come in and save you from that lie. And I have to tell you, if you stay with it, no matter what happens, stay with it. It's only going to get better and become clearer and clearer for you. It's just going to get better.
Because you used to, what is that you used to say? You used to say that, no, the silent prayer, you used to say that you used to do it every morning, every night. I used to do that. But I came to a point where you said you started doing it consciously. I started doing that consciously. There was a point, I think it was 2 days ago, I was doing it. I was sitting in my bed, I was doing it. And the thoughts came, and I could hear them. I just didn't say nothing.
Right.
But I got distracted. I identified with it, and it made me think. And I started thinking about an outcome of something that I wasn't really thinking about. As soon as I separated myself from it, it had no outcome.
Absolutely. That's deep. That's amazing.
It was like, say I had a thought about fighting somebody, and then I win, and I separated myself from it. There was no fight.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, absolutely. If the world understood just that alone, we could have peace on earth right now. You're absolutely right. Those thoughts are set up, and they make you, which because they're evil. All thoughts, except for practical thoughts about what you're going to eat, and blah blah blah. But all thoughts are evil. They are just wicked spirits, and that's why, as long as you live in your imagination, everything you do, everything you think you know and want is always going to be wrong. It cannot and will not be right. And then you
Right.
bring trouble upon yourself because you're worshiping the devil. You're listening to the devil, and all he will ever bring upon you is trouble.
Right. There's two more things I wanted to say. The reason, I don't know. Yeah, you say that Jesus is the Son of God. Yes, he is the Son of God. The reason why he doesn't have this. I mean, he doesn't have to say that for people to know that. He wanted people to see it for himself. That's why when he asked the people, the multitude, they said they called him different things. He asked the disciples, they didn't think of it either. Till Peter said that he said, "Thou art Christ, the Son of God," and he blessed him for it. I don't understand. Those are his own words in the Bible. I don't understand how people can skip over that and say, no, that's not what he meant to say.
I know. He said, Peter, you have seen this for yourself.
Flesh and blood have not revealed it to you, but my Father that is in heaven revealed it to you.
Absolutely. And the people don't want to understand that because they love the lie. They live in their intellect. They love knowing about God but not knowing him. And it just feels good to know about him. And they don't really want to know him.
Exactly.
It's all an act.
And the last thing I wanted to say is that there was one show I was watching. You said that you asked somebody, do you believe that God gave us our own demons? I believe that he did, because Christ went through the same thing that we were able to go, Christ went through the same thing that we were going through. Why wouldn't he be able to do the same thing now that we have God to help us?
You said God gave you your own demons?
You said you had asked the question. You said, did God give us our own demons? And I said, I believe that because Christ went through the same thing. Why wouldn't we be able to do the same thing?
Well, God didn't give you your own demons, but what God did, he made it possible for you. He have set you free from the demons, and he have made it possible for you to see them and overcome them. But he didn't put that upon you. Okay. He knew that Satan would tempt you with demons, that he would make a home of your mind and body, intellect, and he made it possible for you to see it and overcome it, but he didn't put that upon you.
Okay. All right, that's all I have. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Keep on.
And you too, Daniel, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, all right?
All right.
Amazing, man. Oh, amazing. Daniel is seeking the Father, and he now can see. And once you can see, truly see, there is no going back to. You can't go back. Now, if you see intellectually, you're going back. Oh, you're going back. But once you see spiritually, you're not going back. There's nothing to go back to. You're not going back into your hell, no matter who try to pull you back in. And believe me, because human beings are evil, they're demons, they're controlled by demons, they will try to pull you back. They'll come after you like nothing going north because they hate the light. And it's not them, but it's the darkness, it's the demons inside of them. It's not them. Let me find out what's going on here. Nobody telling me anything now, so I have no clue. Can we do the intro? Oh, the biblical question? Okay. And are we ready with soundbite? All right. Okay. So here is the biblical question. They got it right. I knew it looked wrong to me. Do you know God? There you go. What the? Do you know God? Who is God? Do you know God? Who is God? Amazing, huh? And so I mentioned Super Tuesday, and I'm going to get back to your calls and Super Chats. I mentioned Super Tuesday, and it is today. It is today. And here's a compilation of what Super Tuesday is all about. Watch this.
15 states will vote in GOP contests on March 5th, with nearly 900 delegates up for grabs. Now, Haley has vowed to stay in through those races, but the former South Carolina governor has yet to win a contest against former President Trump, most recently losing the Michigan GOP primary by more than 40 points.
And she does take some pride already in being the last one standing against Trump. You're looking at a whole range of states on Super Tuesday that really is a microcosm of the party nationally. You're going to get a real test of Trump's support and of Haley's support nationwide. He and his campaign advisors behind the scenes are very optimistic he will win all of the states on Super Tuesday, but it still could be an indicator of some softness in his support across the country.
That man look like he really doesn't feel like reading that. He'll do it, but it doesn't really feel like it. Anyway, so you got to get out and vote today. Get out and vote. And I'm saying out loud, I'm just wondering, I am wondering if Nikki Haley is standing there trying to hurt Donald Trump and help the Democrats. Because Nikki Haley is a right-on Republican, and she knows that she's no good. She will not be a good anything. She's not even a good mother. She's not even with her children. So how would she be a good president? You know what I mean? Plus, it's not in her nature to do it. So I'm wondering, because according to the reports, she get money and support from the Democrats. But the Democrats are not going to vote for Nikki Haley. So I'm wondering, she's on her little ego trip, trying to hurt Trump, and in return hurting the American people. Just wondering. Amazing. According to Yahoo.com and PostMillennial.com, Donald Trump was handed a major victory on Monday when the Supreme Court ruled that he cannot be excluded from Colorado primary election ballot over his actions surrounding January 6th. Jamie Rapskin said he is working with other Democratic Congress members to remove Trump from the ballot through legislation. Watch this through NBC, from NBC and CNN.
The High Court just said moments ago that Mr. Trump can stay on this year's presidential ballot in Colorado.
A Republican frontrunner is now permitted to run for president, not only in Colorado, but across all 50 states.
Unfortunately for America, the court isn't necessarily wrong that this is the way the framers wanted it to be. They wanted Congress, the people who are closest to their constituents, to be able to make the rules and the laws.
I am working with a number of my colleagues, including Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Eric Swalwell, to revive legislation that we had to set up a process by which we could determine that someone who committed insurrection is disqualified by Section 3 of the 14th Amendment.
You can't save the people from themselves. If they're determined to reelect him after he organized that insurrection, then there's nothing to stop the people from doing that.
Amazing. They don't, just think about that. Smoke on it. You're supposed to have the right to vote for whomever you want. And they don't want you to have that right to vote. It's unfortunate that you have a right to vote for whomever you want to vote for. Did you ever imagine for a moment that you would hear or see anything like this in this country? It's unfortunate you're going to have the right to vote for yourself. They don't want, that is, if it wasn't for freedom of speech, I would say that is insane. It's insane statements, that's for sure. But how can you not want the people to vote for whomever they want? Just because they want to vote for, just because you don't like them, that means that it's unfortunately that people are going to vote for who they want. You're voting for who you want. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. I would bring back those voter days of when only people who own property would be able to vote. Settled, done. If you don't own land, you can't vote. Go sit down. Then we wouldn't have all this mess. Voted for programs and voted for colors and voted for this and that. The beauty about Nikki Haley, if she is playing a game trying to hurt Trump and the Republican Party, she won't be in it. Nikki Haley ain't going to have one iota of effect on a vote for Trump in November. It ain't going to work. And anyone who think that it will hurt Trump in November is blind. Satan is your God. Nikki Haley is the same female that took down the Confederate flag. She's a coward. She needs to be sent back to her country. They should send Nikki Haley right back to her country, wherever she came from. And allow no more illegals or foreigners to run in our government. You want to come visit? Come the right way, visit, go back home. You can't run for government. Nikki Haley is blind if she thinks she's going to hurt Trump in November. And anyone else who believes it is blind. And they want to believe that. They want to believe it. And now the Democratic Congress, they still try to, let's see if we can do something in Congress to stop him. I told you once, I've told you twice, and I've told you 1,000 times. Have a little space between you and the great white hope, Donald Trump, and just watch and learn. Everybody and their mama, including the rhino Republicans, are trying to stop him. And look what's happening. So far, nobody can stop him. We'll see what happens. But so far, it hasn't happened. I rest my case. Okay, I'm talking to Hassan. But good news for the great white hope and you and me. According to Politico.com, Colorado chief election of officers officials were disappointed in the Supreme Court allowing Trump to remain on the ballot, overturning her state Supreme Court, which ruled him ineligible to run for office again. Watch this from MSNBC. We don't have the time? Okay, we'll play that when I come back from this break. 888-775-3773. And your phone calls. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. Okay, welcome back. 888-775-3773. Let me just show you the good news about the Great White Hope. Again, I want to encourage you, those who want to overcome your fallen state, have a little space between you and the Great White Hope and have no opinion about the outcome. Have a wait-and-see attitude about all things, and watch the Great White Hope. And how all the little demons are after him. The DAs, Congress, the Democratic liberal voters, the Democratic Party, the right or Republican. Nothing stopped the man. There's a lesson to be learned. There's a lesson to be learned about your own life. Other than Jesus Christ. And I wasn't here at the time to see him walking through there. At least if I was, I don't know it. Maybe our reincarnation didn't know it. But I have not seen a man on earth deal with the issues of life and the challenge of the demons in other people. And believe me, other people, all human beings are wicked until they overcome. And most will not overcome because they love evil over good. They love their wickedness. They love their hell. And they try, as they're doing with Donald Trump, they try overtime to pull you into their hell. Can you imagine? Think about this. You could be of demons, evil in your heart, in your imagination, in your emotions, and you're not satisfied just being demons in hell in your own personal life. You got to look outwardly and try to drag other people into your hell. You're not satisfied with just being in hell on your own. You work for your father, the devil, Satan, and you got to look outside to pull other people into it. That's what's happening with the Great White Hope. And so I once heard that if you want knowledge, study. If you want wisdom, observe. You got to become an observer of life, not a knowledge of life. You're in hell. Not the knowledge of life, but the observation. Observe life. And so I mentioned just before the break how they're trying to take Trump off the ballot in Colorado. So I was like, oh, okay. I'll be back. According to Politico.com, Colorado's chief election officer was disappointed in the Supreme Court allowing Trump to remain on the ballot. They're like, what the? And overturning her state's Supreme Court, which rules him ineligible to run for office again. Watch this from MSNBC.
Americans have been voting all across the nation in early voting in those Super Tuesday states, including here in Colorado. And Coloradans and Americans deserve to know whether Trump is a qualified candidate. My larger reaction is disappointment. I do believe that states should be able, under our Constitution, to bar oath-breaking insurrectionists. And ultimately, this decision leaves open the door for Congress to act, to pass authorizing legislation. But we know that Congress is a nearly non-functioning body. So ultimately, it will be up to the American voters to save our democracy in November.
Essentially, you cannot take somebody out of a race because an opponent would like to have it that way.
Amazing. Thank you, Trump. What an evil, nasty female. You still want females in leadership roles? Look what they've done to the homes. Look what they've done to the schools. Look what they've done to our government, and now look what they're doing to the country. I mentioned once that the blacks, what's wrong with the blacks? The blacks always call white people white supremacy. And their primary issue around the world is to try to hurt. The blacks call the whites white supremacy, right? Because most blacks, not all but most, believe that white people are superior. And so they acknowledge all the time that they are supremacists over them, superior. And they don't know that you're justified by your words or you're condemned by them. And so in their mind, in their heart, in their belief, they totally believe that white people are superior to them. But rather than learning from their superiorities, they try to destroy them. Isn't that amazing? And I'm not surprised that Trump is beating this. He's white. And now they're saying all colored people think that. I don't believe all. I believe it's just the blacks and a few Mexicans believe that all that they can't overcome, right? But black people work overtime to hurt the white man and the white woman because they truly believe they can't do it. They believe that the white man got it down pat. And rather than learning, they try to destroy them. And so are you surprised the Great White Hope hasn't lost yet? Are you surprised? He's superior. That's according to the blacks. They need affirmative action. They need reparations. They need diversity and inclusive. Let us in only because they say, let us in, the blacks. Let us in because we are black. And the superior people won't, we can't do that hard test. We can't work that hard. What's amazing? And here is some good news, even more good news for the Great White Hope, Donald Trump. NBC, the Supreme Court on Wednesday agreed to decide whether former President Donald Trump can claim presidential immunity over criminal election interference charges, adding a new hurdle to a trial taking place. Watch this from MSNBC.
What it says is that they are corrupted political actors who act in bad faith. And at some point, people in the media, people at home, and people sitting in the White House have to stop pretending that the Supreme Court is some kind of benign, trying to do its best institution and start to realize that there are 6 Republicans, not conservatives, Republicans on the Supreme Court who view it as their job to help the Republican Party. And until we do something about that, until we take away that power, until we draw the line on them there, they will continue to do this. They will help Trump. They will take away abortion rights. They will end affirmative action. They will liberalize gun rights. They will do all of it until we stop them, because we will keep losing every day we allow these 6 Republicans in robes to rule over all of us.
You having to feel like Big Mama. I said, I like Big Mama. With the fro. I'm growing my American fro back. You notice that? Yeah. Nice. having a hissy fit, like Big Mama. And on at least I know all the Supreme Court said, no, this man could be on the ballot. Leave this man alone. Big Mama don't like that at all. Big Mama don't like you, and she likes everyone. Amazing. What the? We need to bring back common sense. It just ain't common no more. And coming back though, slowly but surely. 888-7753-773. Let me go out to Canada and talk to first-time caller Clifton out of Canada. Clifton, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Hey, Clifton. Did he hang up? Okay. It sounds, I don't know if he hung up or what. Let me go to first time call. There's a line open. 888-7753-773. Matthew, a first time caller out of California. Matthew, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Jesse?
All is well, sir. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I've been listening to your show a lot, and I agree with most of the stuff you say, and I really appreciate, the message and everything.
Yes, sir.
There's so many things I would like to talk to you about, but I guess one of the most important things we were talking about is you were in the beginning of today's show. We were asking who is God?
What is God? Let me update my package because I don't even think it's written right on my package. Hold on. Let me see how it goes, sir. That's not the right one. Is it? That's the right one? That's the correct one? I'm sorry? I think so. Let me go find it. Hold on, Matthew. Huh?
It in the chat.
Okay, Matthew, I have it now. Do you know God? Who is God?
Yeah, I believe, throughout my spiritual journey, I've come to learn God, come to know God spiritually as well as through my studies as well. I've seen a conflict between the ancient scriptures and what we have today, Paleo Christianity, in comparison to Pauline Christianity. And, I've learned about Jesus in the years that weren't written in the Bible. And, I believe that he himself wasn't a Christian. I believe he was a follower of the Vedic scriptures of Sanatana Dharma.
So let me ask you, you say, yes, you do know God?
Absolutely.
And so you do know God, right?
Yes, sir.
And how do you know him?
I feel like I was born with, that connection to him, to the Spirit. And that he's put this love in my heart to try to share as much truth as he has, in your heart as well for the people. And but there's been this battle that there's so much suppression and corruption, mainly in the Abrahamic religions. But I believe that God himself was a follower of the Vedic scriptures and Sanatana Dharma.
Okay, so let me do that. Hold on, just slow it down for a minute. So you do know God, and so who is God? To Matthew.
God is the creator of all living things, to the creator of this earth, everything that makes everything work. He's the supreme being, and Jesus was God's son who was sent down to earth to, try to correct the wrongs and the ills of society and sacrifice his life, and was killed by the Pharisees.
And how do you know that God was the creator of all things?
Just look around and you see how everything works in harmony. There has to be a creator, and that's who Jesus wanted us to know, and know that that God is within all of us in our hearts. But of course, we're not God, and neither did Jesus say that he was God. He said he was the Son of God. And
have you forgiven your mother?
Absolutely.
And how did that go?
It went great, you know. I mean,
what'd you say to her?
Forgiveness and, well, you know, thanked her for giving me this life and told her that, you know, she doesn't have to like hold any guilt for any of the wrongs she did and apologize for any of the wrongs I did in my life. But, you know, I don't see that as being an issue in, you know, where I'm at today.
So have you gone and forgiven her?
What's that?
Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
Yeah, there was a time that I did that in my.
And what did you say to her? What did you say to her?
Just what I told you right now. You know that I forgive her for anything that she did in the past, for her shortcomings, and apologize for anything that I had done.
And why did you apologize for what you have done? You had done nothing.
Well, you know, I think we all go through phases in our life when, you know, we're rebelling and whatnot, and make things harder for our parents who were kind of looking out for us. But I never had much of an issue. That wasn't something that I felt like was like, you know.
But why did you apologize to her? You had never done anything wrong to her.
Well, you know, I mean, I feel like this is taken away from the topic that I was mainly trying to touch on, which was God.
But anyway, smoke on that. And also, I wanted next time you call me, I want to know, why did you thank her for giving you life? Your mother has never given you life.
Yeah, well, it takes two, you know. My father and my mother, and
neither your father nor your mother gave you life.
That's true. And doesn't it say in the Bible that there's only one Father, and that's God?
Yeah. But so why did you thank your mother for giving you life when she did not give you life?
Well, she played a role in it. You know, God chose her to have me.
God didn't choose her to have you. She decided that by laying up and getting pregnant. She didn't know it was going to be you.
Yeah, I see. Well,
but I do appreciate
that I was.
I do appreciate you responding to the biblical question, and I want to ask more about it, but I won't, because I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. But thank you for that, man.
Yeah, another important thing that I was interested in your opinion on is, like, with a lot of this stuff going on in the world and like the suppression and the infiltration of our government, it seems to all go back to the same people. These people who, you know, they go by the Talmud, and it's very demonic and satanic.
They go by the what?
The Talmud. Are you familiar with that?
No. You know what? It sounds like you want to do some Bible thumping stuff. Can you call me Thursday?
Sure, I'd love to call you Thursday. And maybe we could talk about, you know.
But Thursday is Bible Thumper Thursday, and that's when I have time to put a little bit more. Because look like you keep trying to put in something. Call me Thursday.
Definitely. There's a lot going on. We got to fight back against these satanic.
Call me Thursday. 888-775377. He didn't want to do no Bible class. He anxious to talk about something else. But call me Thursday, Matthew. I totally understand, buddy. What the? Super chat.
Super chat.
Super chats.
Over on twitch.tv/JLP Talk, Falcon Ing says, Proverbs 10:1-3, the Proverbs of Solomon. A wise man maketh a glad father, but a foolish son is heaviness of his mother. Thank you, Falcon Ing. And it continues, Falcon Ing, and it continues on like that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I am remiss, for some odd reason, on the Hake Report and Jesse Lee Peterson show, I keep on missing Greenwald's super chats somehow. It's not discrimination, not on purpose anyway. It's unconscious bias, Greenwald.
What the? He biased, Greenwald.
I have animus.
Yeah, animus. He wrote my biblical question wrong today.
Yeah, I'm getting it all messed up.
Yeah, a lot of animus. Come on, man.
I'm like that wife who accidentally messes everything up.
I know. Oh, honey, I didn't mean it.
Greenwald bought 3 coffees yesterday or so. I guess Jesus established the communal wine and bread to symbolize the blood and flesh of a single body among his followers. Then following his execution, they were devastated for 3 days, basically dead inside. Think back to when you've suffered a horrific loss. And then they regrouped with all Jesus had shown them under the leadership of Peter, John, James, and such. And that was how the body of Christ was resurrected in the flesh and still lives to this day.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Greenwall.
Yeah.
Gregatron bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, I caught you in a contradiction! ! Months ago, you said the devil doesn't know that he's the devil. He thinks he's God, something like that. But then you talk about the movie Nefarious, and you said the devil hurts us, God's children, because he hates God. So which one is it? Does the devil think he's God? Or does the devil hate God? Or does he pretend to be God?
Well, all of us. The devil hate God. The devil doesn't know he's the devil. And the devil try to hurt the children of God. Just think about it. All angry people, there's not one. See, I said that's not one. Let's close it down. I mean, not one.
Uh-huh.
That's not one that, though every angry human being think they're God. They don't know they're the devil. Angry human beings do not know that they are the devil. They don't know they're evil. They call evil good. They call trying to make their lives work and judge others and attack others, revenge and phony love and teaching the Bible and all that. They call that love. They don't know that's evil. They call it righteousness or righteous. They don't know it's evil. I rest my case. The human beings fight one another. Two devils fighting each other. And they call it good. And they both think they're winning because they both think that they're God. I rest my case.
Nice. Great coffee, Gregatron. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. That was deep.
Yep. That boy ain't right, bought a coffee. Answer to the biblical... Wait, answer to what? Oh. I guess this is supposedly a biblical question answer.
To the biblical question?
Yeah.
Do you know God? Who is God?
I ran into him a couple of times, but I don't know him like that. Says, that boy ain't right. With a coffee.
They ran into God?
A couple of times, but don't know him like that.
But how you know you ran into him then? But thank you.
I have no ability to follow up with that boy ain't right.
No, I put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you.
Ryan,
I forgot it's a biblical question.
Ryan B. bought 5 coffees. Bible thumping on the biblical question.
Do you know God? Who is God?
I don't really have an answer, but these are the scariest verses in my Bible. Matthew 7:21. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say unto me that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, done many wonders in your name? And I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness.
That's a long responsibility.
Bible thumper.
I'm telling you. Keep it piffy. Thank you. I got to take a break. Thank you all for the super chats. We'll finish up when I come back. 2 more hours to go. 888-77-JESSE. Hake is coming in with the hate news. Not the fake news, but the hate news. Hake news. I'll be back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature.
A submarine telecommunications set of cables was cut, damaged down in the Red Sea. Who done it? And Trump won in the Supreme Court yesterday, obviously, as most of you probably already know. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Super Tuesday, March 5th, 2024 AD. Stay tuned for hour two. JLP will be right back to your calls. The lines are full, guys, and we'll get to the rest of the Super Chats today, hopefully. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Submarine telecommunication and internet cables, including internet cables, damaged. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, reports there's cutting cable, and there's literally cutting cable. Telecom cables running along the bottom of the Red Sea have been damaged, disrupting an estimated quarter of internet and communications between Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Israel said the Houthis might do it. They had warned some time back that the Houthis might do it. One Houthi, these are the rebels that were harassing the ships over in the Red Sea, disrupting trade. One Houthi denied doing it and blamed the United States and England for doing it. Who knows? Who knows? Trump won in the Supreme Court, obviously. The so-called Supreme Court unanimously sided with our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, according to the ladies, the far-left females, I should say, at the Skim. One day before Super Tuesday. Super Tuesday is when a whole bunch of states do their primary elections or caucuses or whatever and vote for the nominee for the Republican Party or the Democrat Party or whatever. The so-called Supreme Court agreed that states do not have the authority to take Trump or anyone else running for federal office off the ballots. This is in response to the Colorado State Supreme Court's decision to boot Trump from the state's presidential primary for violating the 14th Amendment, specifically the insurrection clause. You all know about that. You heard about that earlier this hour on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show and yesterday, due to his actions on January 6th, which were perfect, by the way. Now the country's highest court, high on pot, says that only, except for Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, only Congress holds the power to bar presidential candidates from running for office. The justices, so-called, said giving states power to kick federal candidates off ballots would bring national chaos during election years, with a candidate being ineligible in some states but not in others. However, the three so-called liberal, meaning far-left extremist, justices wrote in a concurring opinion that the ruling goes too far and could insulate all alleged insurrectionists from the future challenges. Give me a break. Trump appointed so-called Justice female Amy Barrett, said in a one-page opinion that the court reached their decision unanimously and that the message Americans should take home. Worth noting, the Supreme Court made no mention of whether Trump's involvement on January 6th constitutes an insurrection, because it's not their purview, right? It only clarified whether states had the power to remove federal candidates per the 14th Amendment. Challenges to Trump's ballot eligibility across more than 30 states now have no legal basis. Especially important in Illinois and Maine, where so-called officials already barred Trump from primary ballots. Trump hailed the Supreme Court ruling as a big win for America. They call it SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, SCOTUS. That's the abbreviation. Next month, the so-called Supreme Court will hear arguments on whether Trump can claim immunity, presidential immunity, in federal cases against him. Not state cases, federal cases. Not since Bush versus Gore in 2000 has the so-called Supreme Court played such a big role in an election. Monday's decision, a big win for the so-called GOP. Their frontrunner gets to stay on the ballot ahead of a likely rematch, so-called, with crooked Joe Biden. Today's Super Tuesday race is a big step towards whether that rematch will happen or not, meaning crooked Joe, I guess. If you're in one of the 16 states taking part, the ladies don't want you to forget to vote, but Hake does want you to forget to vote unless it's for Trump, because we don't want dumb libs, communists, rhinos voting.
enough about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773-888-77-JESSE. We have my brand new biblical question. It's a doozy. For those who want to overcome their hell, do you know God? Do you know God? Who is God? Do you know God? Who is God? Amazing, huh? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com. You can also, JesseLeePeterson.com/show. You can also listen to it if you're busy anywhere in the world, anywhere around the world. And for the flat earthers, anywhere up and down the world. And for the normal people, anywhere around the world. You can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad. You can podcast, but you can be listening by calling 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Follow us on social media. Jesse Lee, JLP Talk on X, and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Like, follow, ring the bell, blah, blah, blah. To donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or Bond JLP on Cash App. It's Tuesday. It's the second hour of the show. It is Tuesday. And every Tuesday is Country and Western Tuesday. Bring back, oh, bring back my country to me. Bring back, bring back my country to What me. dog? Who let the dogs out? Amazing. Amazing. Hassan's dog. Hassan's dog. It's amazing. Let me do this. I want to finish up the super chats we started on in that last hour and then go back to the callers. Super chat.
Super chats.
Thank you.
A life without thinking is an amazing life. That is so true. I can hardly stand it. Amazing. A life, if you want a real life, you got to stop thinking. Isn't that amazing? You got to give up your God, which is your intellect. How can they get the shirt?
Rebuildingtheman.com/stores. It's on the Bond Teespring store.
Amazing.
Yep.
Super chat.
What about the shirt with you with the afro? Is that still available?
Yes.
I think so. The Afro one? I think that's on the Fallen State Teespring store.
Yeah, I'm going to have to wear that again. I'll wear it Friday if the Lord is willing to create the rise.
America.
Oh, amazing.
Shout out to Ryan B., who bought that coffee at the end, who talked about the Jesus passage, I never knew you. He is now a member over on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And he gave a message for the producer. Thank you.
Right on.
Someone bought a coffee. Before I was awake, I always felt strange when someone called me a good person. Now that I can see, I realize the reason I felt strange and weird about it is because I know that I wasn't. I know now that I wasn't. And that was a lie. Only God is good, so now I can correct people when they say that to me.
Thank you. Amazing. The Amerifro shirt is available on the Fallen States the Fallen States store.
You have to scroll down a bit to find vintage Jesse
Amazing
Amera-Fro shirt, Amerifro.
So go to rebuildingaman.com/store and click on the Fallen State button. Thank you, Nick.
Ramel/In the Loop bought a coffee. When the kids act up, we take their phones away for a period of time. Is it wrong that I did the same thing to my wife when the hell came out of her the other day? How do you feel about disciplining the kids and wife?
Well, if the parents were right, you would not have to discipline the kids so much. And it's fine that you discipline your wife, but do it with total patience, total love. Don't argue, don't try to prove anything, but correct her. And that'll be amazing. Thank you.
Donnie Girl's Idea bought a Rumble rant on Jesse Lee Peterson's Rumble. This will make other states know they are acting foolish and wasting taxpayer money. But will that stop them? Referring to the Supreme Court saying that Trump can't be banned from the ballots in the states.
No, that's not going to stop the evil people. You got to realize that evil is pure evil. That's why all people who has anger is pure evil to the core, and they can't help it. And so evil people are not going to stop just because they're losing with the great white hope. They'll sit around in the darkness of their hearts, in the darkness of their hell, and try to come up with something else. But if you're of the light, they can't defeat you. But they'll be chasing Donald Trump for a while. What the? Amazing. Thank you, though.
Waldo39 also bought a Rumble rant. Is sharing your content online or vets I served with feeding my ego? I can't explain it like you do, but I feel like your content is better than anything the VA, Veterans Administration, or Veterans Affairs, has to offer. Peace. Amazing.
Amazing. I'm not familiar with what they're offering, but you use the one that's working for you, your soul. All right, your spiritual life, your real life. Thank you very much.
He asked if it's feeding his ego to share your content online or with vets that he served with, veterans.
Oh, I see. No, well, here's what I recommend. When you're doing it, watch the thrill. See if you're trying to take credit for it by having a thrill about it. And if just watch that and let it pass and still do what you got to do, as long as it's right.
Nice.
Thank you. Amazing.
Aries' son bought a...
I counsel with a lot of vets, really, and they really need it. And I cannot tell you the number of vets over the years that I've counseled with or ran into, and they're like, you helped me. You helped me overcome my anger. You helped me understand why I was traumatized while at war. I overreacted. I overreacted to death. I overreacted to everything. And they're really coming back to a normal state of mind. So I appreciate you helping them. Pass that on.
Aries' son bought a coffee. Genesis 6:5. The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every imagination and intention of all human thinking was only evil continually.
Yep. That's deep.
Yep.
That is so deep. When you wake up and you understand how your mind is not yours and what's going on in your mind and emotions, so-called good one and bad one, you're going to be stunned to see the wickedness of other human being hearts. And they don't know you see them. And you're going to be like, what the? Even your own parents, pure evil. And that's why you're in that fallen state. It's going to blow your mind, but you won't judge. You will have understanding. And not just knowledge, but you will have understanding. Amazing. Thank you.
Sion C bought a coffee. Hello, Jesse. Love hugging emoji. Ain't nobody's business if I do. Mike emoji. Sing musical notes.
If I decide to take the notion and jump in the ocean, ain't nobody business if I do. Yeah.
Nice.
Amazing.
Charles bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, have you noticed that everyone who has gone after Trump has been cursed? Quote, there shall be no peace, says the Lord, unto the wicked. Isaiah 48:22.
Amazing. Well, they definitely don't have peace, that's for sure. You can see that. Amazing. Thank you.
WD41 bought a Ninjagini. I'm catching up on Fallen State episodes. Thanks for the amazing shows.
Thank you. I appreciate your support. Thank you. Y'all helping us to do this, I am grateful. Thank you.
Stan69 gave 3 diamonds, asking, what happened to the rest of little JLP's props? Where's his little cowboy hat and guns? We waiting for little JLP to be in the merch store.
We're working on it, slowly but surely. Thank you for reminding us. We'll let you know. Come on, man. Thank you.
Waters, first time chat on Twitch. We on Twitch now? Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you, Twitch.
Yeah, thank you. And shout out to the people, the supporters over on Rumble, the monthly supporters on Rumble. That's cool. And shout out to the
Thank you.
The D Live crew for the subscriptions, ice creams, and lemons. And thanks, guys. That's all for now.
Thank you all. I appreciate it. Nice. And check out the Hake report. It's coming up at 9 a.m. this morning, Monday through Friday. The Hake report, yes, at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 9 to 11. I don't know if you didn't catch it yesterday. You need the podcast yesterday, Hake report. It was, hey, Maze was interesting on the Hake report yesterday.
Yeah.
Maze from Dayton, Ohio.
My favorite caller.
Evidently.
Yeah, I spent like 30 minutes with Maze.
It was good to hear May's voice.
Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
amazing. Let me go back to Clifton, a first-time caller out of Canada. Let's see here. Clifton, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going, Jesse?
All is well, sir.
Yes. Well, I just want to start by saying I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot from you.
Thank you.
Especially about how anger. I've been seeing a lot about anger, how that impacts like pretty much like all my dysfunction. You know what I'm saying? And I see it in like my girlfriend and like my mother now. I just been taking the steps of like just watching and observing and stuff like that, and realizing that I think the root of all like what we're going through as a nation is because of anger. Like
100%.
Everybody's just so angry. And then when you like, no, for real. Like I just like it's like men hate women, women hate men.
Yeah.
It's like, anyways.
And every human being hate their mothers. They don't know it. Isn't that amazing?
I'm not too sure about that.
Okay. Stay
I'm
with
just
it.
saying, okay. You know how you say you talk about forgiveness a lot. Okay, you say forgive your mother and your father and stuff like that.
Yes.
But then also it's like there's no need for forgiveness, because once you can see that it's not them doing it, then you realize that you weren't holding on to anything to begin with. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
It's like how you say how you refer to the Bible when you say forgive them for they know not what they do.
Yes.
It's just like you can see that they don't know what they do. So like all in all, there's no reason for forgiveness, because once you see it, you know that there's nothing to be forgiven for. Just like how you say how God doesn't judge you. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows that it's not you doing it. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to. Also, I was a bit confused about like why you keep on pushing people to forgive. It's just not, I feel like that's not correct. I feel like it's like you just have to like rediscover yourself. Like, and once you rediscover yourself, then you realize there's nothing to be given. There's no forgiveness needed.
You need to, you got, as God said, before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must go and forgive. And when you go and face your mother, and in some cases the father, some people have a fear of the father for no reason, but they have it. When you face your mother, you're facing the fear. And when you face the fear, you will go through it and will be taken away from you. So that's why you have to face your mother.
Yeah, but if fundamentally, if you're not holding on to anything, then why should you have to go and forgive?
Well, you don't have to. You can hold on to whatever you're saying and just stay in your hell. You're not forced to go and say to your mother, I was wrong for resenting you, and I'm sorry. I realize now you can't help yourself. You can just, but that is the freedom from the whole deal by facing your fears.
Okay, so you talk a lot about like perfect peace, right? So do you have perfect peace?
I have perfect peace.
So you don't get angry, annoyed, bothered, anything of the matter, anything like that?
Not in one iota, and I take no credit for it because I didn't know that anger can be completely. I didn't know it was a spirit. First of all, I didn't know it was a spirit. I didn't know it could be taken away from you until I went. And like you're saying, I saw, before I went and faced my mother, I saw that she couldn't help herself. He allowed me to see that just as I couldn't help myself, she couldn't help herself. But I still had to go and face her. And on the way over there to talk to her, fear overtook my body, my mind and body.
Yeah.
And I wondered, why am I so afraid of her? And I realized it was because I resented her, and I was afraid because whomever you're angry at, you're afraid of.
No, I
went and I was what you say, and I went and I faced her, shaking in my boots, and I've not had to shake since.
Okay, do you feel as though that you overcame fear by doing that, and a result of that, do you feel as though you have fear still?
I just answered that.
So you have no fear whatsoever?
I don't have fear.
So you're not afraid of death. You're not afraid of like.
Why should I fear death when death doesn't exist?
Okay, yeah, death is an illusion. You see, okay. Another thing.
Clifton, hold on about it. I think Clifton have a Bible conference stuff. Clifton, talk to Clifton for a minute, Sean. I think he have Bible questions, and have him call me back on Thursday. I got to get to so many calls here. And it sounded like I thought he was wanting to talk about forgiveness. Let me go to Tony out of California. Tony, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. How you be?
All is well, Tony.
Very good. I was calling because of the primaries with Nikki Haley and Donald Trump.
The Republican primary today?
Well, yes, and the one that they had in Washington. I think he won.
Oh, you mean the primaries that they've already had?
Yes, sir. Yes,
oh,
sir.
not Super Tuesday.
Well, okay. Well, the thing is, I'm looking at the percentage that voters that she's taking away from Donald Trump. And then when November 5th get here, are them voters going to vote for Democrats or for Joe Biden because they are against Donald Trump? If that's the case, that could really hurt Donald Trump.
I don't understand your question, Tony.
Well, I'm saying the voters that voted for Nikki Haley going to vote for Joe Biden.
Right, those were Democrats that voted for Nikki Haley. There were some right-o Republicans, but those were Democrats that voted for Nikki Haley. And come November, they're not going to vote for Donald Trump anyway, nor will they vote for Nikki Haley. They're only doing that to try to hurt Trump right now, but they never were going to vote for Trump.
Well,
and that's why I said that Nikki Haley has a devious reason for staying in there, pretend to be still running. She's trying to hurt Trump, I believe.
Well, yeah, obviously, yes, I agree with that. But the thing is, don't you believe that Donald Trump is reaping what he sowed upon himself?
What do you mean by that?
But if he had just succeeded at the
how can
election,
he be weeping anything he's sowing? He's winning.
How is he winning? Well, he got 91 felony charges against him.
It appears that he's going to be the nominee for representing the Republican Party. It doesn't get any better than that. So how is he losing? How is he losing if he's winning?
He's not winning, my friend.
He is.
Winning on
who is leading as representing the Republican Party?
A small percentage he's winning.
Tony.
Yes.
Tony, who is winning as representative of the Republican Party for president?
Well, Donald Trump, yes, he's winning on that.
So then if Donald... Tony.
Go ahead.
If Donald Trump is winning, why are you saying that he's losing?
Because the thing is, he don't have the support that he had back in 2016.
You're right, he has more.
No, he don't.
He's winning by big margin over Joe Biden and everybody else.
Wait a minute, you still going with the polls? Y'all had the polls last time and he lost.
Are you saying he's
Come on,
not?
Man, the polls don't mean nothing.
Tony, are you saying that he's not winning?
What? He He's winning what? Polls?
Tony, are you saying that? Tony, are you saying he's not winning?
Once again, Jesse, he's winning polls.
Tony, are you saying he's not winning?
I just asked you a question, Jesse.
Is he winning?
He's winning, Jesse.
And how do you know? How do you know he's winning?
How do I know? Because the polls says so.
Well, you just now condemn the polls. Either you for the polls or you're not for the polls. Are you for the polls or are you against the polls?
Polls don't mean nothing.
So then you just said he's winning according to the polls.
Well, it don't mean nothing, though.
But how come you believe he's winning then, according to the poll?
I don't believe.
If it don't mean nothing, always with that. If it don't,
you always stop, Jesse. You're too old for that.
If it don't, mean nothing, how you for the poll and against the poll?
I don't believe in polls. I don't participate in polls because they show they did. It does.
But you lie about you don't believe polls. You said you believe Trump is winning because the poll said.
No, I don't believe Trump is winning. I did that to satisfy you.
So you lied about believing that Trump is winning?
So we can continue to talk.
Tony.
We continue to talk before you run.
Tony.
The thing is, Jesse,
shotgun,
the man hurt himself and everything he's done in life.
Do the dirt, baby.
So the thing is,
now.
Donald Trump will be going to prison in 2025.
Okay.
Okay, Jesse?
All right.
Have a good day, Jesse.
Okay.
Keep up the good work on what you're doing, brother.
I appreciate that, Tony. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. What a mess. My friend said, I give up on telling you not to sing. I couldn't believe a week ago that the callers were actually encouraging you to sing.
What the?
They must have bulletproof ears. Somebody jealous.
Come on, man.
Somebody jealous of this amazing singing. Rosario out of New York. Been waiting a while. Rosario, thank you for holding. You're on the air.
Hello, good morning.
Hey, you're on the air, buddy. Thank you for calling.
Well, happy Country Tuesday, Webster. Yeehaw!
Country and Western Tuesday.
Yes, sir. I was going to take a response to the biblical question, possibly.
Do you know God? Who is God?
So the first part of the question, do I know God? So I'm going to answer this as honestly as I can. I would have to say no, but I am seeking him. And who is God? I would have to say, well, what I do know is that he's nothing that the world has told us. Everything that the world has told us about God, he is not. And that's my response.
Amazing response, and I appreciate that, man, and I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. You have a great day.
You too, buddy. I appreciate it.
All right.
Amazing. Larry from Indiana. Let's see here. Hey, Larry, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing?
All is well, sir.
All right, so I told you I was going to give you a call back yesterday. I talked to you on Friday about my girlfriend. You know, basically, she's just one of those girlfriends that...
Oh, you're an 18-year-old guy, right?
Yeah.
And you had some girl living with you, an 18 or 19-year-old living with you?
Yeah.
And she was raising hell?
Yeah, and she had a key, so I was ready to be done with her, break up with her. And at first you were like, you know, you need to drop. You said, Larry, you need to get rid of her today. And I knew I needed to, and I was going to, but you was like, she had a key, and you was thinking like she had a key, and she's going out of town tomorrow, so I'm gonna just wait till tomorrow so I could change the lock, XYZ. And you recommended that I just wait until tomorrow, hold it off. So after I got off the phone with you, I thought about that for like 5 minutes. And I was like, no, she got to go right now. I want peace right now. So I went to my house. I just took all of her stuff and I packed it up. And long story short, like I got her out of the house, but she had came back making a mess, breaking stuff, like just mad and trying to explain herself. Like she's working on herself. It's not going to take time, and I'm just petty for packing her stuff up. But all right, that happened.
So she came home while you were packing up stuff?
Yeah, she came back while I was packing up stuff.
And did she still have the key?
Yes.
And so when she came in, she started breaking up stuff inside your home?
No, she had mirrors inside of the house, and she had grabbed one of the mirrors, and she had threw it outside of the house. And I'm like, bro, are you serious? So she tried to grab 2 more mirrors, and I said, no, you're not getting me. And she's like, I'm not going to break them. All right, I'm not going to break them. I'm not going to break them. I'm just going to put them up. And then she got them, and then she threw them out and said, oops, my hand slipped.
What an evil girl. What an evil female.
Yeah, so that happened, and she was gone. I blocked her on everything. I blocked every family member. Like, she had no way to contact me. And then 2 days later, she came back to my house. And she's claiming she's pregnant.
Did she come in? Did she have a key?
Yeah, she had a key.
See, that's why you're supposed to change the lock.
But I went the cheap way, and I said, she's not going to come back around.
You don't know how evil operates, man. That's not how evil operates. But anyway, you didn't change the lock because you said she's not going to come back around.
Right. Just trying to be cheap. So she came back. She said she was pregnant. She said she's not leaving the house. She's all confident, like, I live here too. I'm not leaving. So then it got to the point where she's telling me she's pregnant, and I'm not really believing her because of the situation and the timing of it. So I'm like, there's no way you're pregnant. But she wouldn't leave, so she's just basically explaining, like, she couldn't go to her mom's house, she couldn't go to her dad's house. And I didn't believe her, but I kind of believed her a little bit. So I let her stay the night. She slept on the couch, and I told her that she needed to take a pregnancy test. So the next day, I didn't tell her this, but I had her take the test. If it said negative or if she didn't take the test, then I was going to just go and get a new lock and change my lock. And then if it said it was pregnant, if it said positive, then, I didn't know what I was just going to do. I was just going to deal with it. But she took 2 tests while I was working. I had her show me. She sent me a video of her taking the test, like on the toilet, everything, the whole process, and she's pregnant. So my question to you is, right now she's pregnant. She's in she came back to the house. I let her come back to the house, but she's sleeping on the couch. But it's just like, how should I treat this relationship now knowing that she's pregnant, but dealing with everything that we had previously just dealt with.
Is she black?
Yeah, she black.
And you black?
Yes, sir.
All right. How old is she?
19.
Here's what do what you want, man. Cause I told you to change that lock, but you didn't do that. But do what you want, right? Of course, the last decision is on you. You're 18 years old. I will highly recommend you call the police, have her removed, and have the cops there while she's been leaving so she can't accuse you of being violent or anything. This female is angry. She's evil. She's demanding that it go her way and not your way. You're just going to catch pure hell. And if she has the baby, not in your home, somewhere else, and if she want you to hang out with the baby, fine. If not, fine. But if you don't get rid of this female, she's going to destroy you.
So I don't, give me 1 second. So I don't, pay at the counter. So I don't have to take, like, so right now, she only has her dad and her mom. Her mom doesn't have a house. Her dad doesn't have a house. So she doesn't have anywhere to live. So
she can live in the alley somewhere.
Huh?
She can live in the alley.
What? She got my baby.
Yeah, she and the baby. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on, Larry. 888-7753. 773. 888-77. Jesse, quick break. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, They have rough lives. They're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Okay, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. And James Hake is on fire at 9 a.m. Pacific time from 9 to 11. The Hake Report.com. That looks just like Hake up there, too. That looks like Hake. The HakeReport.com. And then at 11 a.m., Joy of Friday. It's interesting talking to Larry right now. Larry is 18 years old, has his own home, doing his thing, dealing with this girl, 17 or 18, nothing but mess. Now she says she's pregnant, another mess, and blah, blah, blah. Joel Friday dealing with these issues too all the time. It's amazing to hear him dealing with them at 11 a.m. on every day except Friday. Joel Friday TV, right after the Hake Report. 11 a.m. Pacific time. Check Joya out, you black. And then the American Anchor Baby, dealing with these issues as well. The American Anchor Baby at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So check out the lineup. You will not be disappointed. The American Anchor Baby has energy given to him by God. Amazing. Hey, Larry?
Yeah.
So you're 18, you got your own home, you're building a life for yourself, you're seeking the Father now. This woman, and this girl is 18 too, right?
Yeah, she's 19.
She's 19, and you told her she got to go. Now all of a sudden she's pregnant.
Yeah. And at first I'm like, there's no way you're pregnant, but it is real.
But you don't even know if that's real or not. Because why did she tell you she was pregnant before she had to leave?
You said, huh?
Why did she tell you she was... What's the noise in the background?
I'm at McDonald's.
Well, go into a quiet place somewhere.
Okay.
Get in your car or something. But
I asked her that, and she said I didn't know. She had just took the test the day after everything had happened. So at first, that's why I was just like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, so why did she decide to take a test after you told her she had to go?
I don't know.
Here's what I recommend, Larry. She still got to go. Larry, I promise you she's using this baby to manipulate you, whether she's pregnant or not. She's using it to manipulate you to tell you, oh, you got a child. Now you're going to get emotionally involved. And that's where you're probably going to end up destroying you because you're basing this on emotions. If I were you, I would take her to have a DNA test done by a doctor or something, not just a little tube things you use on a toilet. I would, okay. But I would still, and if the doctor says yes, she is pregnant, I would still have her go back to her mama or her daddy or somewhere else. And not in your home because she's going to destroy you, Larry. She's going to use that baby against you.
Okay.
She is evil. She is doing all she can now to manipulate and take control of you, your home, and your life. And she will use that baby against you. And if she has any love at all, you send her back to her mama, her daddy, or wherever she got to go. And if she has any love, that won't stop you from taking care of your child. You're very mature for your age. You're taking care of yourself. She just have to be there for you to take care of your child.
Okay. So right now, while she's carrying the baby, it's not a moral responsibility of mine to be like, I have to make sure she's all right and I need to take care of her.
Not
take care of the baby.
Not at all. Not one iota. It's not your fault that she got pregnant.
Okay.
If she is pregnant and if it is yours, it's not your fault.
You sure it's not my fault?
Oh, it takes two to tango.
You worried about that?
She is responsible for herself, and you're responsible for you, and no one else is.
Okay, I understand. I guess then it's just those thoughts, because sometimes a lot of people don't understand. Thoughts they can come really quick. They can be really quick.
Yes.
And I guess I get those quick thoughts saying, oh, well, now that she has your baby, you have to make sure she's all right and make sure, take care of her, basically, because she has your baby. So if you take care of her, taking care of the baby. But it's just another thought.
The thoughts are totally lying to you. And the world have taught you that too, and the world lied to you. You got to be re-educated in the right way by the Spirit of God, and He will guide you. You are not obligated to take care of that woman, zero at all. She is responsible for herself. And once the baby comes, and if she has any love, which I doubt, she will let you take care of your child. That's your child. She just has to be around for you to take care of your baby. Hello?
As soon as you said, just wait a little bit. I said, no, she got to leave today, right now. And I got her out, and then she came back.
That's why I told you to take that lock and change it, the key away and change the lock, because that's what they do. She's going to keep held in your life. As long as you put up with it, she's going to keep it there until she destroy you. And she's going to destroy the child, whether it's yours or not, because she's evil. She's not working on herself. And her parents, she has a father and a mother, they don't even want her according to you. She can't go back to them, right?
Yeah, not at all.
So that means she's total evil. So why would you take on somebody else's problem? You're so young.
I don't know. That's why I got her out of there, because I'm like, I don't have to do this. I'm so young. I don't have to do this. But then the baby thing comes around.
And
I did think about this earlier.
And you did think about what?
That I probably should get a DNA test.
Yeah,
to get another test to see if she actually is pregnant. Because even now, even after her showing me the test and whatnot, I still have, are you really pregnant?
Right.
I know that.
That's right. I would highly recommend, for several reasons. Number one, to see if it's truly yours, I would have a DNA done. And then keep a copy of the DNA. So if it's not yours, she can't go down to the welfare office and make you pay for somebody else's baby. You will have a copy of the DNA. So make sure you hide that from her so she can't take it and destroy it.
Okay.
Because she'll have you taking care of somebody else's baby. But Larry, do what you want, of course. I highly recommend you still change the lock and get rid of her.
All right.
Just think about this. Just look how she's carried on now.
Yeah, I'm going to smoke on it.
You're seeing the real deal, Larry. It's worse than that. And then secondly, her parents don't even want her. That means she's totally out of control. And you're trying to get your life together, and just because, if it is, God forbid, but if it is your baby, she just has to live there for you to take care of your child. If she has any decency at all, she would not get in the way of that, because it's not between you and your child, it's between you and her. The fight is not with the child, the fight is with the parents. It has nothing to do with your child. And if she had any decency in her at all, she'll let your your baby be with you, let you see your child. Wouldn't be a problem. But I doubt if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, you'll make a horrible mistake keeping her right now. She's going to destroy you. And especially if she has the baby, she's going to use that against you, and she's going to use the baby against you. I will continue to work on myself, seek the kingdom of God, do the silent prayer, watch those thoughts, and go about your life, man.
I'm gonna definitely smoke on that. It's just those thoughts telling me that she got the baby. It's your baby. Take care of it. But I definitely understand she's responsible for herself.
And that's the devil telling you all that because the devil want to keep you in the prisons of your hell in your imagination and emotions. He's setting you up.
Right.
The answers are not in thoughts. And people consult with thoughts all the time. The thoughts tell them to do this, and they do it, and it doesn't work. And then they go back to the thought, well, maybe I'll do this. I'll get married, or I'll do this. They're still consulting with the devil, and the marriage don't work. All you ever do is fight in the marriage. And now you have a second child, and the thoughts say, oh, you can't let her go because there's a second child now. And you believe that. And it's just all hell your whole life until it destroys you. You cannot consult with the imagination. The imagination is evil. There's no truth in the thoughts. It's just thoughts and phony feelings. Those feelings are not even real. God is not a passionate God. God is a dispassionate God. He is not into emotions at all. All emotions like that come from the devil.
Yeah, so I'm going to handle that. I'm definitely going to handle that.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
Yes, every morning and every night.
Here's what I recommend. You stay with that, stay with it. And don't let her folks or nobody else talk you into keeping her there because they're in hell too, and they want you to be in the same kind of hell they're in.
Okay, I understand. But and real quick, I have a real quick question.
Okay.
Yesterday you guys were talking about fighting, but fighting without anger. Can you physically fight, such as self-defending yourself, or let's say someone is attacking you, attacking them back physically? Can you do that without anger?
100%. And if you do it without anger, you're more likely to win because you're conscious. When you don't have anger, you're conscious of what you're doing. You're in the present, right? And so the fighter with the anger, he's going to be leaving himself open where you can just, and because you're conscious, you're going to see those open spaces there where you can knock them out. But if you're angry, you're just like two devils fighting each other, throwing fists around, and nobody knows what they're doing.
Exactly.
And you end up biting somebody's ear off.
Oh man. Well, thanks, Jesse. I appreciate it. That definitely makes a lot of sense. I'm definitely about to go home and smoke on it a little bit.
Where is she now? Right now?
Right now she's gone. I'm pretty sure she's with her family, her sisters right now.
Well, why can't they take her in?
Looking for cards. Well, this is the thing with her sister. Well, the reason her mom doesn't have a house is because the mom moved herself in with the older sister.
Oh my
God. So the older sister is the only other one with the house.
Oh.
My seatbelt on.
But that's not your problem, though. She can go and live or sleep on the floor at her older sister's house or her dad's house or somewhere. Here's what I recommend. Today, while she's gone, change the lock. And then when she comes, tell her she got to go, but call the police first and have the cop there so that she can't accuse you of being violent. And she will. And she'll cry fake tears. And she'll say, he was violent. He was abusive. He tried to push me out of the house. He did. She will, Larry. I'm telling you, this woman is dealing with nothing but hell in her. You are not responsible for her at all. Zero. And if it do a DNA, and if it is your baby, that still don't make you responsible for her. You're responsible for the baby. Your half of the responsibility for the baby. And if she allow you to see the baby, fine. And if she doesn't, fine. Don't even force that either. Don't cut the baby in half. You got to stop letting the world control you inside and outside.
100%.
And she's going to do all of that to manipulate and to control you, and you will live to regret it. I promise you. Ain't no way around it.
Oh, dang, man. I almost cussed.
About what?
I almost said, dang. Because I was just thinking about the other day, I was going to ask you, is there any way two parents could raise a child without the child having to grow up to forgive the mother and the father? Is there a way for it to be perfect, for it done so perfectly in the right way towards where a child doesn't grow up with anger? And then when you just telling me like all these things I see, like dealing with this lady, if the baby really is mine, I know it's going to be difficult. She's going to make it difficult.
Yeah.
And I just like, dang.
She's going to even do it while she's pregnant because she's angry and she's fighting with you. That spirit of anger is already destroying whether it's your baby or not, if she's pregnant. It's already destroying the spirit of the baby in the womb. So the baby's going to come out angry already.
Dang, that's tough.
People don't understand, even the Christians don't understand because they say, oh, Jesus angry. They don't understand the depths of how evil anger is. Anger is just pure evil. There's no insight into it. There's no love. There's nothing but evil. It's an evil nature, period. So you're dealing with evil, Larry. You got to be careful. You're 18 years old. You don't need to get caught up with it. You're blessed in that you know that evil exists. You're working on you. I would highly recommend do not let this get in your way. Send that woman back to her family, wherever she got to go. You are not obligated to her at all. You didn't make her lay down and get pregnant. She chose to do that, influenced by evil, did that. All you're responsible now is your child, if it is yours, and if she try to use that against you, don't fight about that either. Let her have the baby. You go on with your life. And God will bless you.
Right.
And again, do what you want. But change that lock today. Send her away today. But before she get there, make sure the cops are there so she can't falsely accuse you.
Okay.
Because when she see that you're strong, it's going to bring out the worst in her because she loves having control over you.
Exactly. That's definitely something I peeped. Another thing she tried to do when she had came back and I was telling her to leave, she was like, because she had paid, she volunteered to pay one bill, and it was a $26 bill she volunteered to pay. She's like, well, I'm a resident here. I live here. I pay bills here. I said, you pay one $26 bill, and you volunteered to pay the bill. But I still... But I 100% I definitely see it. I don't hate women or hold anything against women, but I definitely see, they are the leaders of evil.
Right now you're dealing with the full fiery of evil. And if you don't deal with it calmly and with insight, it will destroy you. I promise you that. It will destroy you. She will destroy you. And that's because it's not her home, it's your home. And if you told her to leave, she should just get up and leave. She shouldn't be fighting to stay in your house. That's your house. It's not her house. You're 17, 18. She's 19. She shouldn't be fighting to stay in your house. She'll be like, oh, okay, I'm out, bye. But she's trying to control you. And the more she sees that she cannot control you, the worse she's going to get. She's going to come up with some stuff that you can't even imagine right now. Look what you just said about a little stupid bill. Give her little $20 back and tell her bye.
She said, so are you going to send my money back? I said, are you dumb? I'm not sending you nothing.
I'm telling you.
I didn't say that. I was just like, I'm not sending you nothing.
Larry, be done with her. Otherwise, you will regret it. Do what you want. Maybe you need this hell, more hell. I wouldn't take that risk, but maybe you need more hell to wake up. But you're seeing hell right now that every man goes through his marriage and everything. And you got a chance right now to not go deeper into this kind of hell and just continue to work on you. And one other thing, Larry, don't not, ain't not argue with her ever again. Don't argue. Just state your point and be done. Do not argue. Don't fight with her. Don't touch her because the courts are not on your side, even if it is self-defense. Don't touch her. Don't argue with her. Just say, no, you're gone. You're out of here. Bye. Don't argue with her. Don't argue with her. You understand that?
Got you.
Because you're arguing with the devil, and that's what the devil want you to do. That's how a lot of women get men in trouble, by arguing with them and pretending that they pretend they want understanding. They don't. They want control.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Jesse.
And so I just got a text from a friend of mine. He said, if he doesn't use the cops, he might get away with changing the locks. If she claimed that she is a resident of his home to the authority, he would not be able to kick her out for at least a month.
Yeah, that's what another thing was. But that bill was for last month. So, and then I am the primary. My name was on the lease, but at the end of the day, it's my house. I put in the work for the house. So,
well, stay calm. Stay calm so you can see the right. Be like a fighter that is not anger. Be calm so you can see the right thing to do. And don't argue with her. Don't try to prove anything. But Larry, I highly recommend you get rid of this woman as quickly as possible.
Okay, Jesse, I got you.
And now, if you decide, you know what, I want to stay in my hell. Jesse sounds like he's right about it, but I want to find out for myself. You do it, but you're going to regret it. You already seeing the hell come out of her.
Yeah, I see it. And that, oh, man.
And the more stronger you become, meaning not giving in to her, the worse Satan is going to act up inside of her and look at Larry trying to act like he's strong. Don't let that N-word be, it ain't going to happen. He going to tell her all kinds of things to do to try to get to you.
Oh, my God, man. I didn't see it, but when she came over here the last time, I don't remember too much, but she was saying a lot of stuff that I think she thought it was hurting me, but it wasn't. Like, she was taking the pettiest stuff. She came in here. It was only one toothpaste. She took the toothpaste. She started taking salt. She took the seasoning salt. I said, but I know she was only doing that thinking it was getting.
It get worse, Larry. Let me know how it goes, but I got to run, but let me know.
All right.
All right, buddy. Amazing.
Yep.
A quick break. Hake is coming over to Hake News. One more hour to go. Back in a moment. What a mess. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. You know, freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free, just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing.
There's some Israel-Palestine women's victimhood drama accusing Hamas of R-wording. Biden hates Bibi, by the way. Whose side are you on? Or did you take sides? And cackling Kamala met with Benny Gantz. There's some Ukraine propaganda coming up, guys. Haitians are overrun by their gang members in Haiti. And France, by the way, has made a borscht a constitutional right, I think, according to the far-left females at the Skim. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Tuesday, Super Tuesday. Get your votes in for our greatest president, Trump. March 5th, AD 2024. That is, if you are one of those in one of those 16 states. Stay tuned for hour 3, last hour, coming right up with JLP. But first, Hake news, not fake news. The lines are full, guys, so hang tight. Call in as you hear JLP finishing up with other callers. Israel-Palestine war drama. The far-left female-run outlet The Skim and Commie Nonsense Network both report on violence against women. Yesterday, the evil UN reported that they have reasonable grounds to believe that Hamas committed R-word rape and sexualized torture against women during their October 7th attacks on Israel. Sloppy reporting from the far-left females at The Skim, because a United Nations team found clear and convincing information that hostages in Gaza were so-called sexually abused, and the UN Special Envoy on sexual violence in war said that there were reasonable grounds to believe such violence is ongoing. However, the UN team was not able to meet with any victims of so-called sexual violence from Hamas's October 7th attack, and most of the evidence was circumstantial. Circumstantial evidence, meaning it's not actual evidence. The team visited Israel and the West Bank to collect information for the UN's annual report on so-called sexual violence in conflict. They reviewed more than 5,000 photos, 50 hours of footage, and spoke with so-called survivors and witnesses of the attacks as a basis of their findings. The report is part of a larger UN initiative, and the envoy involved recommends that Israel work with the United Nations, not good advice, to carry out a more formal investigation into Hamas's actions. Hamas has previously denied allegations of sexual violence, by the way. Pramila Patten, Patten, is the activist lawyer UN Special Envoy, a woman from British Mauritius, said a lack of survivors or witnesses made first-hand accounts difficult to collect. So what a mess. Meanwhile, the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees has accused Israel of detaining and torturing some of their staffers, coercing them into making false confessions about their alleged ties to Hamas. Remember, there were like 13 alleged Hamas members of the UN for Palestinian Refugees, UN Group for Palestinian Refugees, which has been around for 70 years. So who knows what the truth is? Maybe we should stay out of it. Meanwhile, there's growing divisions between the Biden administration and Israeli Prime Minister based Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu. Bibi is his nickname, I think, short for Benjamin, I guess, over Israel's handling of the war. Since the October 7th attack, more than 30,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza, reportedly. That's a lot. And that's according to Gaza's health ministry. The evil Biden administration is getting pressure to push for a permanent ceasefire, but Netanyahu, according to Commie Nonsense Network, has remained steadfast, and the far-left females at The Skim, in his goal of eliminating Hamas. Yesterday, so-called Vice President cackling Kamala Harris met with Benny Gantz, who is a member of Israel's wartime cabinet and a quote-unquote centrist, meaning he's probably pretty far left, rival to Netanyahu, who's fairly liberal himself, honestly, to discuss the humanitarian situation in Gaza amid military operations. Netanyahu did not authorize the visit and reportedly said Israel has just one prime minister. What a mess, huh? I'll tell you about the what's happening in France on the Hake report, but for now, back to Jesse Lee Peterson, Hour 3.
stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. That's amazing. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53, 773, 888-77-JESSE. Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week. Do you know God? Who is God? Two-part. Do you know God? I think it's the first time we ever had a two-part question. Do you know God? Who is God? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And you can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad. If you're busy and you're not able to just sit and watch it, you still can be listening live no matter what you're doing, where you are and who you are, by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. But you can podcast the show as well. You can also podcast Jesse Lee Peterson shows. Support us on social media. We're on rumble.com, rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, and Cozy, where Christ is King. Cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv/JLP. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, and rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or even Bond JLP on Cash App, Bond JLP on Cash App. All right, it's Tuesday. It's the third hour Tuesday. Every Tuesday is Country and Western Tuesday. Yeehaw! Bring back, oh, bring back my country to me. Bring back, bring back, bring back my country to me. What the? Who let the dogs out? Amazing. Amazing. Let me get to some of these calls. Been waiting a long time. Eduardo, a first-time caller out of Texas. Eduardo, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How you doing, sir?
All
it's
is
an honor
well.
to speak with you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. I didn't really call about the question.
Okay.
I more so wanted to hear what you thought about something regarding Donald Trump.
The Great White Hope.
The Great White Hope. And you cracked me up with the Earth, the flat Earth is calling, but I'm calling from a round Earth.
Are you a flat earther?
No, sir.
So you're calling from
me up, Jesse Lee Peterson.
You're calling from around the world, not up and down the earth.
Right.
Right on.
And I mostly listen to your interviews on when you do the hot seat and stuff. I never really listened to your con show, but I was listening to you today, and I agree with a lot of what you say. I think what you told the young man a little earlier, I hope he listens to you, because I remember when I was in that hell, and I hope he listens to you and gets out of that.
Yeah.
But, sometimes we be in that beta. We want to keep going through that. So hopefully he gets out of that.
I
But-
hope so for him as well.
Yes, sir. But I wanted to ask you a question regarding Donald Trump because I agree a lot with what you say, but I just wanted to hear your perspective on what do you think that the best case scenario, because I hear, you saying bring back my nation, but I want to hear what you think the best case scenario is regarding Donald Trump because, the United States of America supposedly is $33 trillion in debt. But with the evil liberals and their programs, Medicaid and Social Security and whatnot, it looks like it's closer to 180 trillion once you calculate those promises that they made the people. Do you believe that Donald Trump can bring back America, or because the debt is so high? What do you think that the best case scenario is? Because you say it's the Great White Hope. But do you believe that he can bring back America?
I believe in it.
Uh-huh.
And if not, what?
And if not, what do you think the future of America looks like with that debt?
Oh, okay. The one thing I believe for sure is that Donald Trump, as far as the freedom of speech, jobs, lower taxes, regulation and restrictions, as far as shutting down the borders, a strong military, lower interest taxes and things like that, Donald Trump can definitely do that, without a doubt. It will happen under Donald Trump. But as far as turning the people's hearts back to God, only an individual can do that by realizing he or she is wrong for being angry and return to the Father. And then their lives will get better spiritually. But as far as my country coming back in a material way, Donald Trump can do that. Absolutely.
Wow, that's amazing.
Amazing.
Okay, sir. I appreciate you because, I get a lot of insight about how the liberals and the right wing and the rhinos. And, I believe that you're more of a conservative Republican, so I agree with a lot of what you say, and I get a lot of insight of the thinking of the people from you. So I appreciate you.
I want to play
Mhm.
a quick soundbite for you concerning Donald Trump. And speaking of common sense, and you may be aware of this and you may not. Hassan, I want to go to the RSBN comment, clip 5-1E. Speaking of common sense, the New York Post, this is from the New York Post, common sense is in short supply. The career policy makers in our nation capital are committed to old, unchallenged orthodoxies that have produced nothing but failure. Trump has presented a common sense plan, provide military and economic assistance to Ukraine as a loan. Trump has said, if you got to give them money, loan it to them so they can pay us back, right? He said any further agreement to provide aid would be contradictional, not charity. He would be on, okay, Ukraine, you want some more money? We'll loan it to you, but we're not going to give it to you. Watch this. Listen to this from RSBN.
Was more. 60 billion with a B. They want to give him 60 billion more. And I said, wait a minute, do it this way. Loan them the money. If they can make it, they pay us back. If they can't make it, they don't have to pay us back. Loan them the money. Put it as a form of a loan. Why should you just hand it over to them? Do it as a form of a loan. I do that with athletes. They can't quite, like a professional golfer who I think is very good. They don't have any money, but they have a lot of talent.
Amazing. And that's what I do with our entrepreneur program. We have an entrepreneur program where we help men start businesses, or if they're already in business, we show them how to enhance it. And if they need money, we'll loan it to them. We have a credit union we started. We'll loan it if they're part of the program. but not give it to them. When you loan it to them, they know they got to pay it back or they get no more. But when you give someone something, they're going to always have a handout. Donald Trump would do it that way, where the right-o Republicans and Democrats just been giving Ukraine money, and Ukraine going to always have a handout as long as they know they get it free.
Yes, sir. I agree with you. And the reason why I asked you that question is because if you keep doing that, you encourage this military-industrial complex to continue going into war and making these fake wars. I completely agree with you there. The only thing is that I don't really know if the Federal Reserve, if Donald Trump will be able to sway all these powers that are in control.
Yeah.
But, I appreciate your perspective. I personally don't believe that America can make a comeback because they can't even really, America can't even really pay the interest on the debt that the United States has.
Yeah.
But I was interested in your perspective.
I appreciate it, buddy. Call me again and good to hear from you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Amazing. Somebody waking up out there. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Scott is a first-time caller, and there's one line open. We're going to get to as many as possible here. Scott is a first-time caller out of Illinois. Hey, Scott, welcome to the show.
Thank you. First-time caller.
Thank you.
I've been listening to you every day for the past year.
Amazing.
Every day.
Thank you. I
I
appreciate
want to say thank you for being the greatest truth teller I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm 53 years old. I'm white.
You white.
I'm driving back from West Virginia back to Illinois, where I live outside Chicagoland. I'm a chimney sweeper. And my father lives in the deep mountains of West Virginia. I just drove 500 miles to tell him in person that I forgive him. And just as you explained, it did not go over well. Him and his wife, he's with his third wife currently, they both freaked out on me. They were shaking in their skin. Their bones were rattling. They called me every name in the book, and and they ordered me out. And I, thanks to you and being at peace and at one with Father God now, in great part to you, I kept my cool, and I said, I forgive you. God bless you, and I love you. And I walked out the door, and it feels great now. It feels better than I said it to my father in person over the phone. Or, I'm sorry, over the phone, not in person. Like a few days ago, that went over okay. And I'd just like your callers to realize the importance of doing it in person. I just drove 500 miles to do it in my work van, and man, it hit them like a ton of bricks. And
amazing.
His wife was asking me, who's your pastor? And I said, Jesse Lee Peterson. And she started asking me a little bit about this and that. And I told her about the Godhead, God and Jesus, Jesus over man, man over woman, woman over child, and all that. And she just freaked out. And first she said she was leaving, and she ordered me to leave. And my father is a combat Vietnam Air Force veteran. I'm his firstborn son, born in 1970. He had just come back from Vietnam. And, he's like a real tough guy, like Clint Eastwood and Rambo put together, gun-toting. And, I just bought my earmuffs and some targets, and we were supposed to shoot. He's got a great gun range, got 18 acres in West Virginia, Spencer, West Virginia. And, we're not doing that today. But,
well, it's interesting that he's a war guy, and yet he can't have his wife because...
Right, he's weak.
In all honesty, his wife had no business being a part of you and your father's conversation. You should have told her when she tried to get involved, and your father was not going to correct her. You should have told her, you know what, go sit down, bitch. I'm not talking to you.
Right. I was trying to, be nice.
You can't be nice. We're evil.
Yeah, you're right. I should have just been the man I am, been the, like an alpha man. I should have. And
because it was between you and your father. It had nothing to do with her. She had not one word to say about it. And you should not have allowed her. even if she asks you about your past and all, it's not even her business. Just tell her, you know what? Go sit down. This is between my father and I. I have nothing to say to you about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then my mother, I tried to get her on the phone. She lives in Florida, but I couldn't. And I'd send her a million text messages. She just never responds, and she thinks I'm completely crazy. And, she turned me away from my father when I was young, and as a result, turned me away from God, filled me with that angry spirit, which I held pretty much 50 years of my entire life, till I started listening to you. And she won't even respond to me at all. And then I'm losing my friends left and right. I own a business. A guy who's been with me 14 years helping me, and he's flipped out on me. And everyone's, like you say, once you get close to God, man, you see the realness in people real quick.
Because evil hate good, and now that you're overcoming evil, the evil in them hate the good in you.
That's right.
And that's why also I tell people now that when they do wake up, don't go preaching, don't go teaching,
right.
don't communicate with the intellect at all about those things. Just quietly overcome, and God will make your way for you. And so as far as your mother, now that you have tried and she refused to talk to you, just know that she can't help herself. She's evil, can't help it. Right. And go on with your life. Don't try anymore.
Yep. That's right. I forgive them all.
Yeah, and don't try to communicate with her at all anymore. You can't. So just move on.
That's right. I had another couple of things here. I thought I'd get your perspective on, the cities having so much voting power in our country, compared to rural America. I mean, do you find this to be one of the possible flaws of our founding fathers, where, these shithole cities are just, destroying us, with their voting power.
I now understand that that's why that's one of the reasons that they encourage people to leave the farmlands, and they all gather to cities and things like that, because they can control the people in big cities, whereas they can't control them when they're spread out in farmlands and things like that. And I was thinking the other day, before the blacks moved to the cities, like Chicago and New York and wherever they moved to, blacks were more in control of their own life. They were not living in projects. They were not into the blackness. They were not subject to the government as far as welfare and taking care of them as they are tonight. So I believe, and I don't know the depths of it yet, but I believe the whole plan was to move the people into cities so that they can control them in the way that they're doing right now.
That sounds about right. And what do you think about, this seems kind of radical, but just women voting? I mean, since women have been voting, my spirit just tells me, man, it's just not good. I mean, and if I ever tell people, I don't even think women should vote, I mean, they just look at me like I'm the absolute devil. I don't know.
One of the worst, one of the greatest mistake America made, the greatest mistake, was to give women the right to vote.
That's what I think, and you're probably the only person who agrees with me on that, Jesse.
When I was growing up, women didn't even believe that women should be able to vote because they were so emotional and irrational in the way they think, and they always vote for the things that are wrong. But it was one of the worst, and I think America will go down in history knowing that one of the greatest mistakes America made was to allow women to vote. It should have never happened.
I agree.
Amazing. Well,
all right. Well, thank you, Sir Jesse. Thank you.
All right, Scott. Call me again. It was good talking to you. Stay with. Do the silent prayer. Watch.
Yes, sir.
And don't preach to the folks. You just quietly overcome, and the light of the Father will shine through you. And those who are seeking the Father will see it in you, and you can point them back to the Father. But just stay with your business, do your job, and quietly overcome evil, all right?
Thank you, sir.
I wish you well.
Thank you. You as well.
All right. 888-775-3773. 888-77. Jesse, there's a line open. Let me go to Russ, a first-time caller out of New Jersey. Russ, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How you doing?
All is well, Russ.
I've been watching you for probably 3 or 4 days now, and a lot of things that have been going on in my life never really made sense to me. All I knew is before I got married, I always felt like jolly and happy and just roaming around.
Yes.
I'm a little nervous, so my heart beats up a little bit. But
relax. Take a breath.
I felt like when I was 3 years old, I got saved. A lady that I went to in a little Bible study around the corner asked us all if we wanted to meet Jesus. And I was only 3 years old, but I walked around with her, and she told us to pray, and they asked Jesus to come into our heart. And I was sitting there in the room, and I felt a super warm glow go over my whole body, like I was staring into the sun. And I just felt so much love. I couldn't even explain it because it made me, so emotional. And then I heard about you talking about my mother was where I got my emotions and all those things, and that sort of makes sense to me too. But sometimes I have a confusion between what God's love is coming into me as a man and what I'm giving out. And I feel like I should give it out to everybody equally. And my wife gets upset with that a lot because I don't know if she sees the kind of light that I have in me, and she gets jealous and she wants to keep it for herself. Well, this isn't even the question I said I had. I'm sorry. I just listening to the conversation on the phone made me a little bit emotional, and I wanted to talk to you. And I right now, I've had my father, which has Alzheimer's, move in with me about 2 years ago, and he's been living with me. And I have my wife living with me also, and the three of us are living together, making it work right now because things are getting a little tight all the time. But going through this feeling that I've been going through for the last 2 years has really messed me up. And I don't know what to do at this point, except keep feeling what's ever coming into me and trying to give out love. And then when I hear people talk about things, I get pretty upset because I'm more concerned about what they're doing to our earth and tearing it apart to build all this new technology. I don't understand why people can't see that the machine that they're building is going to tear this world apart. It's got to. We have to live off nature. We have to consume what God's given us on this earth just to be able to live here. And the machine doesn't need anything to eat but energy. And I just don't know what to do anymore. I keep getting these emotions over and over, and I know if I talk about them, and right now I'm talking on the air about it, I'll probably be locked up within a week. But I don't know what to do. If you could help me, Jesse, I would appreciate it.
How old are you?
63.
So do you and your wife have any children?
No.
Oh, okay. And why did you get married if you weren't going to make babies?
I got married because when she talked to me, she talked about things that were happening in her life and her family that she felt that was bad. And I sort of felt those things in my family because my father had left when I was 19, but my mother and him fought the whole time. And basically, he finally, I guess, got fed up and said, what do you want me to do, walk out? And she said, get out of here. So he ran away back to home to his mom and lived there for the next 40 years, giving us an open invitation if we ever want to move down and live with him or stay with him or just get down there. It was open. But we had to make our own way down.
And so you married this woman because you felt sorry for her?
Yes. Yes. I felt like I could help her find the light.
But what made you think that? You can't help anyone find the light.
I know. I figured that out after 39 years.
And so when you realized that you had married her for the wrong reason, why didn't you send her back?
Because I didn't feel like it was the wrong reasons. She was educated. I'm pretty dumb.
That's another reason you should not have married her.
Well, I once I started educating myself, she was like an inspiration when I first met her, which I think with most guys get pretty inspired in our age group where, you know, a woman looks good, she looks like she's got everything together, maybe she knows something I don't.
That's a mistake the guys make. First mistake.
Well, I made it.
And so your question for me is what?
When you listen to about the epidemic, what I was thinking was the epidemic is announced like epidemic, and the word could almost be like epidemon. And with the demon part being in it, it makes sense. If they're spreading something that's going to hurt the people in the world.
Oh, I understand. Let me say this to you because of time.
Okay.
Russ.
All right.
The problem is not in the world. Your problem is inside of you.
Okay.
And you're living in your imaginations and emotions.
Yes.
And all imagination is evil. All emotions are evil because they come from the imagination. The ones that make you feel good, and the ones that make you feel bad. It's all a setup. It's all evil, all lies. It's not from God. It's not from you. And so what you need to do is start working on you. You got to forgive your mother for recreating you in her image.
Okay.
Your thoughts and your emotions are just like your mother. You became like her when she imposed her will on you and ran your father off like that. You became angry, and at that very same moment, you became like your mother.
Yeah.
And then, so forgive your mother. Is she still living?
No, she's been dead for 25 years.
Okay, just realize exactly how you think and feel, it came from her. It came from her. That's exactly how she feels. So forgive her. She cannot help herself, just as you can't help yourself. This thing is controlling you.
Okay.
And forgive her, and then forgive your father for not being able to handle your mother, because your mother was his mother. He ended up marrying a woman that he hated. He hated his mother, and he married the woman that he hated, just as you have done. The woman you're married to, you hate her. You can't handle her because she's just like your mama. And so forgive her. And don't hold, and do the silent prayer. And for now, just keep your eyes on the thoughts and the emotions and let them pass. Keep your eyes on them. Be aware so you could overcome all thoughts and emotions, and God will give you a clear mind. And then whatever is happening out there in the world will not affect you at all. A way will be made. You will be at perfect peace. And what other people do and say and do to themselves and others would not bother you at all. You would see it as evil, but you would not be afraid of it. You would not be bothered. You got to work on you.
Okay. All right.
All that emotional stuff is abnormal, it's evil, it's not good.
Okay.
So have you heard me talk about the silent prayer?
No, I have not.
Go to rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. I want you to start doing that. And even though your father has Alzheimer's, just let your father know, I'm sorry for resenting you for leaving us or whatever. And I'm telling you, if you work on you, Russ, it's going to be amazing. You'll be fine.
Okay. Rebuild what?
rebuildingtheman.com/prayer.
Okay, thank you.
And let me know how it goes.
I will.
All right, buddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 888-775-3773. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. And I'll be back in a moment. Check out my book, For Raised to Responsibility. I show you how I was able to overcome anger. The spirit of anger was taken away from me. I had it. And as a result of having anger, I was insecure. I had doubt, worry, fear. I was in a fallen state and didn't know it. And it wasn't until I went and forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father. I forgave my father for not being there and returned back to him. My spirit connected with his spirit, and through him, I was able to return to God. And I have perfect peace. Perfect love casts out anger. And when anger is gone, fear and doubt, worry, insecurity, suicidal thoughts, all of that is gone, and you are free. Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, or if you want an autographed copy, you can go to my website at rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. I love that country and Western music. Remind me of the good old days when growing up in Alabama. We could only get country and Western music at one time on that plantation. I came to appreciate it. I still do. And I'm glad a lot of you are. I hear from you. A lot of you appreciated the country and Western music. Quick announcements. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. right after my show at the top of this hour. The Hake, Hake report.com. The guy with the good hair, he's on fire. He white. And then after the Hake Report, Joel Friday TV, he black. And Joel Friday been on fire as well, dealing with these issues that we're talking about today. When I was talking to Tony from Indiana, 18 years old, going through all that hell with his girlfriend. Joel deal with that all the time. I mean, Larry from Indiana, not Tony. Larry from Indiana. And it's interesting. Y'all should check out Joel podcast here. Joel Friday here. Joel Friday TV at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Amazing. Amazing stuff. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. Energy given to him by God. Amazing. And he deal with this stuff too, all kinds of stuff. At 12 noon Pacific time. Amazing. We're building a network of 24-hour talk with men only, by men only. 24-hour talk, one person at a time. And if you need counseling, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. By phone, Skype, or walk-in. Make an appointment at rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. B-O-N-D. Bond. All right? What else? And for personal shout-outs, I do them myself. Personal shout-out, birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, encouragement, whatever it might be. Go to Cameo, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. And the men's forum is this Thursday night, every first Thursday of the month. And then the third Thursday for ladies only. All right? Amazing. Let me go quickly to Kevin, a first-time call out of Virginia. Kevin, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you so much. It's good to speak with you again, Brother Peterson.
Oh, you're not a first-timer?
No, I'm a first-time caller on the show, but you called me last week.
Oh, okay. Amazing. Go ahead.
I just wanted to point out that none of the current presidential candidates are actually suitable to lead this nation and its people.
Repeat that?
None of the current presidential candidates that are being presented are suitable to lead this nation of people.
Are you saying that about the Great White Hope too, Donald Trump?
It is written that man cannot serve both money and God.
Are you saying that about Donald Trump?
It is written, Brother Peterson, that man cannot serve both money and God.
Are you saying that about Donald Trump?
He is a pedophile, and he had his ex-wife murdered to cover it up.
888-7753-773. Let me go to, I don't know, I have no idea. I think that guy did call my office, and it didn't make sense then, and it doesn't make sense now. But anyway, 888, there's one line open. Let me go to Juana. Is it Juana? Juana out of Texas. Juana, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you, Jesse. You're amazing. I listen to your show, and I appreciate you taking my call.
Oh, amazing. You're welcome.
My question is about my husband, and it's like, I guess the main question is if I am disobeying him with consideration that we're separated, and we've been living apart for 6 or 7 months, and I told him that I was going to move into a place because I've been living with my family. My family no longer wants me to live with them because I was raising all kinds of hell with them for the first few months until I started to calm down.
So you were raising a lot of hell when you moved in with your family?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I was very angry. And my husband listens to your show diligently, avidly, shared that with me. And so I have been doing the silent prayer. I don't think I'm as consistent. I tend to, when I do it at night, I tend to like you said, it relaxes you so much that you kind of fall asleep. So that's just like been my MO when I do the silent prayer at night. And then even when I do the silent prayer to calm down, I still have those thoughts, like just worrying thoughts, like trying to control the future or worry about the future and stuff like that. But my husband told me that if I signed the lease to the apartment that we found, me and my son, who is a senior in high school, that our marriage was over. And I just thought, like, I don't want to disobey my husband. We live 8,000 miles away from each other, but we've been just having dialogue about your show and different callers, and it's actually something we talk about. So we've been having meaningful conversations, but I just was thinking he was being unreasonable because my son's a senior in high school in Texas, and he's almost done. So is that disobeying my husband if I move forward with the lease?
With the lease?
Yeah, I wanted to stay only because so my son can finish his high school senior year this year, and then I could just move on.
But if you sign, how long is the lease if you sign the lease?
It would be 12 months.
When you say move on, you mean like go back to your husband or move on with your life?
Well, I would like to work it out with my husband and work on me as well. I mean, you've really touched me and inspired me to look at me and work on me and watch my thoughts. I mean, it's still a struggle every day, but I just don't want to move on with the marriage. I mean, I do want to move on with the marriage. I want to work things out with him. And I have a chance to see him I was going to fly out to see him in a day, but I don't know.
You don't know what?
I don't know if that's going to happen now. If we're going to get on a flight out of the country to go to see my husband. We talked about seeing each other for about a week.
He lived out of the country?
Yes.
What country? Don't say his last name, but what country?
Japan.
And so is he a Japan man?
No, he's a U.S. citizen.
Oh, and how about you?
I am a U.S. citizen. I'm from Texas. I was born and raised in Galveston.
And so I don't quite understand. I don't understand your question. What are you asking me?
My question is, if I disobeying my husband, if I sign my lease.
Do you have to sign the lease in order to stay there in the place?
Well, not at first. They don't have the paperwork ready for me, but I do need to move out, and my family is expecting me to move out yesterday. They don't want me, they want their own space back. They forgive me for being nasty and angry, but they just want me. Yeah, I know. I have apologized and begged them to forgive me, but and they do. They're saying, okay, well, you still need to go.
Well, never beg anyone to forgive you. Be too proud to beg. Ain't too proud to beg. You know it. Please don't leave me, girl. Don't you
go.
I ain't too proud to plead, baby, baby. Please don't leave me, girl. So don't ever beg for forgiveness. Just apologize when you're wrong. And if they had any decency, they will forgive you. But let me ask, can you live in an apartment without signing a lease?
Yes. I mean, I think so, yes. I think I can.
So why not just do it that way?
Well, I think my husband is expecting me to stay once I get there.
He expected you to stay in Japan?
Yes, because we initially talked about
No, that song's a temptation. He's playing for a week?
Oh, yeah, that song.
Yeah. So you're thinking that your husband is expecting you to stay in Japan when you go over there to see him, right?
Correct, because he said if I sign a lease, that's getting into all kinds of debt and making a big commitment, making a bigger commitment than period.
Okay,
it's
so
a big commitment.
How come your husband live in Japan and not in the United States?
He has a job there.
Oh, I got you. Okay. So do you want to stay in Japan when you go, if he want you to?
I do want to stay with him and be with my husband.
And so then why sign a lease? If you don't have to sign a lease, you can stay in the apartment, but you don't have to sign a lease. And when you go back to your husband, you'll be over there. What's the issue?
The issue is my son is 3 months away from graduating high school. And my son, because of my anger and being evil over the years, I have not provided stability for my son over the years. And even to the point where with my husband now, that's why we separated, because I was raising all kinds of hell with him and he just didn't want to deal with that. So we separated.
And so you want to stay in Texas so that your 18-year-old son will have somewhere to live?
Well, not just so he has somewhere to live, but somewhere to live, and also just to finish his senior year of high school.
And does your husband want you to come before he graduated high school?
Yes, and just uproot him and have him suck it up and start high school there.
Oh, I see. And does your son want to go over with his father and finish high school over there?
No, he does not, and that's not his biological father.
Oh,
either.
what a
His biological
mess.
Father, I know. He passed away. His biological dad passed away about 2 years ago.
So have you asked your husband to let you stay there until your son finished high school, and then you would come? You would go with him?
I did, yes. Yes, I did.
And what did he say?
He told me that it wasn't a good decision, and I expressed to him that my son is angry and scared that he won't be able to finish. Like I told him what my son said, like being worried that he just won't be able to graduate this year, and the year that he was scheduled to graduate, 2024. And my husband was just saying that my son doesn't know better. And
So let me do this because it feels like something's being left out of this because I'm not catching on to any points. Because it sounds like you left your husband, you moved back to the States, you lived in Texas with your folks, you screwed those relationships up by acting out. Now you need to move out into your own place, and your husband wants you to come back to him, but your son, who is not his son, doesn't want to go. Am I right?
He does. He wants to go for the week to visit my husband, but he doesn't want to stay permanently due to the obligations of high school senior.
And he wants to stay here. And can your son stay with your parents or someone until he finishes high school?
No, I talked to my family about it, and they're not willing to take the responsibility because they say that I'm, it's not like I'm dead or incapacitated. So, they say that I'm here and I need to take responsibility for my child.
Let me do this because of time. Is it possible for you and your husband to set up a counseling appointment together?
I would love to do that, Jesse.
Okay, call my office at 800-411-2663. Set up a counseling appointment so I can talk to the both of you together.
Yes. Thank you, Jesse.
All right.
Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
You're amazing.
Amazing. Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right. Bye now. Amazing. Is it Camilla? Camilla is out of Wisconsin. Camilla, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. It's Kamala.
Oh, Kamala. Hey, Kamala.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just calling because I'm with a man who has a lot of anger. And I'm overcoming all of mine. This darn emotion. I was trying to overcome it before I called.
Just relax and go ahead. Relax.
Anyway, usually the man has to protect the children from the mother for her anger and psychoticness. But now that I'm overcoming and I saw all my own stuff, all my junk, but he is full of his mama and just yells at my boys almost every day. I'm just wondering, what do you think I should do? Like, I used to get in the middle of it, and obviously that was wrong. But now I just try to be quiet. Maybe, you know what? I heard you say something the other day. Just tell the person that's angry, hey, look, you're angry, calm down. And actually that seems to have been working a little bit. But how do I protect the kids from him? And is that a possible thing?
Are those his kids as well?
Yes.
And how old are you said the boys?
Yeah, 2 boys and then a little girl, 13, 14, and 6. And yeah, he even sometimes yells at the little girl, which...
Here's what I recommend, based on what you just said. I would stay calm and continue to work on myself about you. I recommend you stay calm and work on you, all right? And then in working on you, I will apologize to my husband and I recommend you apologize to your husband and the kids for getting involved in the beginning, because I'm sure your husband's upset that you always came between he and the children, right? And just say, you know what, I was wrong for getting involved. And work on you, and I promise you, God will guide you in how to deal with those situations as they happen. But don't be mad at your husband. He can't help himself. But you will see when to speak up and when not to speak up.
Okay. Yeah. I believe that's totally true, because doing the silent prayer, and I actually did forgive him. I apologized for resenting him last year.
Nice.
And he couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
and we don't argue with him. And it doesn't mean that, it should come up, you need to say something, you say it, but don't argue about it. Don't try to force it. And you work on you overcoming this anger. God will guide your lips. He will guide your voice. He will guide your tongue. He will give you the perfect words to say. And as long as you're working on you, no matter what happens with your husband, things will be fine for you and the kids. You'll be fine. And you will see what to do. You will always see what to do in the moment, in the present.
Yeah, I believe you.
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning and night?
Yeah, I finally started fully committing to that, and
nice. And you forgive
things have changed.
You forgive your mother and father?
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, you just got into a situation, as we all do when we're in a fallen state, when we're angry. We do not see what we're doing. All right? And so now you're going to get out of this situation. It'll work itself out by seeing your way out. So just watch those thoughts and emotions. They're not your own. They're not from God. They're totally evil. Don't judge yourself. Don't call them you. And when situations come, because you have learned to be conscious, I'm telling you, you will be able to see your way through it. It'll work out, one way or the other.
All right, that's great news. Before I called you, this pit came out of my chest, and I had a whole conversation with the devil. Like, that's a thing that goes on in my brain a lot. Like,
yeah.
Oh, he's telling me not to call. Oh, he all this emotion just came up, and I started crying. I'm like, what the?
That's right.
I thought I was overcoming this emotion nonsense.
Yeah. If you think you're overcoming, you're not overcoming it.
Yeah.
So even thoughts about overcoming are just thoughts. So let them pass. You want to live a life without thinking. And it will happen. And you have practical thought, what you want to make for dinner. You got to take the kids to school or whatever. But you want to live a life without thinking.
Yeah, I'm on the road to there.
Yeah. Stay with it. Stay with it.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Let me know how it goes, all right?
I sure will.
And then just don't be angry at your husband. He'll be fine, too.
I hope so, yeah.
All right, let me know how it goes.
All right, I will. Thanks.
Okay. Super chat. Super
chats.
Over on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, Cow, K-O-W, bought a coffee. Good morning, Jesse and team.
Good morning. Thank you.
A couple of great movie suggestions for you.
Right
we'll send them over to the crew. Thank you, Cow.
Thank you. I appreciate
from the
it.
90s.
I'll check them out when I have time, but thank you.
C bought a coffee. Your friend Jelly. Jesse got amazing voice with a bass in it. I love Jesse's singing and sense of humor. Cats emojis with heart eyes.
That for Sion?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sion. I appreciate it. Amazing.
And also on Buy Me a Coffee, Nikki is now a member, monthly supporter. This week's biblical question, do you
know God? Who is God?
I can never say I know God, because when I say I do, I realize I don't know anything about God. I can't hold on to an idea of God while being present. Otherwise, I'm not present.
Amazing. Thank you.
Last week's biblical question.
I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. What is hell?
My attachments.
Amazing. Thank you.
Choosing happy bought a coffee. God bless you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Lunita bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, how y'all? For what purpose did God create demons?
God didn't create demons. That's an interesting question. We'll talk about that next time. Thank you.
Reed Nessio bought a coffee. Bond's best thing since 2019. What does the treasure chest sound like?
Thank you.
Shout out to Army Ann, WD41, Stan 69, Aries 1, Zealous Hermit, and the rest of the supporters. 555-555-565 on D-Live. And thanks, guys. I do believe that is all for now.
Amazing. Thank you all. Wow. What a country and western Tuesday today. Listen, really, I'm telling you the truth. Do what you want, of course. Get on that straight and narrow. Work on you. I don't care what the outer situation is. The real problem is in you. It's in your mind and emotion. Your thoughts are not your own. Your imagination is evil. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. Really. Go and forgive your mama, forgive your daddy, do the silent prayer, and stay present. It's about being conscious. It makes sense to be conscious. It makes no sense to be unconscious. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Man Month. What you call it? Manhood Hour. Man Month. The Hake Report is coming up now. Hake. You don't want to miss Hake? Stay right there at that station. Don't move. The Hake Report is coming up. Enjoy our Friday after the Hake and Anchor Baby, the American Anchor Baby after Enjoy Our Friday TV. Thanks for your super chats and all that. Callers, Kenny, a first-time caller. Kennedy, a first-time caller out of Texas. Omar, a first-time caller out of California. And a caller just dropped. I'm out of time. Get on that street. I'm telling you, folks, I'm black and I'm slow. And I'm telling you the truth. The kingdom of heaven is within. Seek the kingdom of God and nothing be with him, along with him, before him. You'll be fine. This is for all human beings that want to come out of your hell. If not, stay in your hell. Have a good one, folks. Take care. Amazing. Bye. So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true, it's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father.